think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. You know, I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wants to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. It's Friday night. Just got paid. The music's jumping all around. I might be dating myself. TGI Friday, y'all. It's always a great and honorable day. As long as you're on the right side of that soil. To be talking that good old boxing talk. And I didn't want to deny y'all of having a dope boxing show to step to. Cookie Monster say, Bodywork. Salute Cookie Monster. I appreciate that. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Sounding great as usual. Ooh. I appreciate that, Cookie Monster. You know I need that mic check. By now, you probably know I'm a perfectionist of some sorts. But I'm gonna let the beat breathe for a little bit. We don't have any housekeeping tonight. I said I'm having less structure. I'm gonna see, you know, who comes through, who supports, who got that dog in them, who got that critical thinking in them, man. I said I'll come out here, man, and at the very least give people a platform of things that they might be seeing, but they're slow to believe it. I've been gathering the pulse of boxing all week. And all I can say is idle minds, man. You know, they say something about idle minds, idle hands. I always say if you're busy somewhere doing the right thing, you can't be busy somewhere doing the wrong thing. Unfortunately, it's some people's dilemma that whenever they get online and they open their mouth, they doing the wrong thing. But some little tidbits, man. Alexander Usyk will defend his WBC heavyweight world title against ex-kickboxing world champion Rico Verhoeven on May the 23rd in Egypt. And I had a question, man. This is your king? Like, when we think about Usyk, like, this is your king? I mean, and I just seen this dude. I know this dude not talk about right again, Trojan horse. Like, That's why I said, man, these dudes is knockoffs, man. Look at this shit, man. And I try not to bother nobody, but this shit be coming across my timeline, man. Who was the first one to ever say with visuals, with shit? It gotta be 2 years now. Who was the first one to say something about a Trojan horse, y'all? Bro, these people don't have no respect. I don't know why this shit coming across my timeline. I heard Tim Bradley today. And I'm like, Tim Bradley might really got PTSD, man. Because you know why I got off of the Tim Bradley bandwagon a while ago? Is because he came out, he did a video about Tank Davis. He saw him fight. It was after one of his fights. He said, man, I'm trying to tell you, man. He basically said, you got to be a special rare breed type person to beat Tank Davis. He's like speed, angles, power, boxing IQ. He was like, man, he basically was saying he's the full package. And I've been pondering about something because there's two different philosophies when it comes down to boxing. It's like the first one is, okay, the most complete boxer is a multi-faceted boxer. Like it's like being a jack of all trades, but being exceptionally well in each one of them categories. Not extremely great, but exceptionally well in each one of those categories. The other philosophy is you don't have to be good at everything. You just have to be great at doing this one thing. And I saw that like back when in science class we used to do little experiments, like you get the wrap trap, you get a set of wheels, you get some glue, some pipe fillers, a bunch of little things. You make these little gadgets, like you make these little cars that go off of the kinetic energy of the mousetrap. So we used to like build these little cars and see who would have the best design, like because you could use like shoestrings. You can use pretty much whatever you want to make these little things. So we used to have to sit and do like little experiments with these things and like just sit and test and see who would go the farthest, which car would be the fastest. Like all of these things, like just gathering data. So from early on, we was already kind of groomed to like gather data. And I want to see, hold on real quick. Man, it's been so much, man. You got Oshaki responding to Shakur. An excellent video on the ring. You got Timothy Bradley basically saying he wish he could jump into Gervonta Tank Davis's body. If I subscribe to the current era, I would say that was quite pause-worthy. But a couple years ago, Tim Bradley came out, did a video, and I think it's part of his job as an analyst at the time to pretty much analyze all the boxers in and around certain weight classes, and he was giving this double-A stamp prospect and all this. He was just tabbing everybody and ranking everybody, but he came out and he slipped up and he did a video about how bad Tank was. And after that, he proceeded to, no matter what negative subject it was, no matter what toxic situation it was, he always erred on the side to where he would be anti. You know, you got green and red. You got go and stop. You got pro and anti. So whenever it came down to Tim Bradley, he would be anti when it came down to Tank. But I always said, you know what, I'm gonna keep this video, I'm gonna hold this here because he pretty much put Loma, Shakur, T.O. He had pretty much put all of them, Devin. You know what I'm saying? Like the narrative surrounded by Tank versus Devin has changed so much and so drastically these days that I just let people have it. Because I remember where there was a diehard fan and she was co-hosting this one major, you know, platform. Like, used to be 3 of them, like 2 dudes and a chick. And they was like rampant in the YouTube boxing space, had mad influence, mad power in this organization. She came out and said, man, I like Devin, man, and yeah, he's blah, blah. I don't want him to fight Tank right now. And this is during the era where you could be like, why not? Why you don't want him to fight Tank right now? Why? Because, well, I don't know what they be saying, 86,000 seconds. Give this mother 86,000 seconds. You know, you couldn't say nothing. But she could say it. Like, that's one thing. She could say something like, well, yeah, I like Tank, but she was like, I like Devin, and that's my baby, but I don't want him to fight Tank right now. It's like, you know, if you think about it, it's the same thing people are saying about Abdullah right now. Now, people are picking sides on Abdullah because they're either looking at Abdullah bad because they're like super duper Keyshawn fans, or, you know, you might got a couple Floyd Schofield fans, but like, the only people that really don't like Abdullah Mason is because he's been compared to Kermel Moton and put in that same boat, even though they're not in the same boat. They're not in the same boat. You can see by what status, like, the young man Abdullah Mason already became champ. But it's funny how politics will change a person's perspective, and it will warp what they're allowed to be able to put out in the airwaves. Because this is the second time here recently, and I would have played the Timothy Bradley thing, but I'm past it. I know he's like, somebody came on here and said that he's a shock jock, and pretty much he's talking to the casual fan. So I said that relieved me of all my responsibilities because I'm not a casual. But this is the second time where I heard pretty much Hall of Famer Tim Bradley pretty much jump out of his body and really admit how talented Tank Davis is. He was saying that, well, because he's basically giving this analogy like where he told this like 12U guy to jump up and play 14U, and he was scared, he was nervous, but he was beasting out at 12. He told him to challenge himself, and then he's basically saying, Tank, challenge yourself. And he was like, man, you'll never know your potential greatness and blah blah bliss. But I'm like, Tim, aka Captain Obvious, like everything you said in the video, like you pretty much demonstrated in what you were saying. It's like, get off his meat. Like, that's all I heard. I was just like, man, get off his meat, because pretty much all you're pretty much doing is like, you're admitting that the dude is rare. The fact that you want him to come back. The fact that Keyshawn Davis was like, yeah, boxing, they need him to come back and all this. Like, everybody know that. But like, the politics of boxing, and this is what the spirit of tonight's conversation is going to be. It's like, you cannot be worried about what politics is saying. You can't. Why? Because all you're going to do is suffer through like a long, arduous path of letting this stuff work its way out, when you can be vocal right when it happens. I swear I wonder, why do some of us have vocal cords? Why do some of us have brains? If we never critically think and we never say what needs to be said, why do we have brains and vocal cords? Like, why does Tim Bradley have the spot that he has, being a Hall of Famer? like being put in the position he has to have the power that he said. I understand why he has the power or how he came to have it. But I'm also questioning, why does he have the power? Why does he have the power when he can come out and tell you something one day and then come out 3 days later and tell you something totally opposite, never have to explain, never have to backtrack, never. It's like anybody has to do that, whether you're a Hall of Famer or not, whether it's basketball, football, boxing, it don't matter. You have to come out and explain how you were wrong, like especially when people are like listening to you from a perspective of being a professional. And professionals are wrong all the time. And casuals, some casuals make bread based on betting on fights and all that. It's like all of the knowledge has to be respected. The bottom line is the game of boxing, it has told on itself. The game of boxing has already said that, man, the game of boxing needs Gervonta Tank Davis. I was saying it back when we got the Survival Bowl with Isaac Pitbull Cruz against Lamont Roach, when we got that, and we still got a draw. I was saying that then when we got the Stoppage Bowl with Mario Barrios defending his WBC welterweight strap against Ryan Garcia. The Stoppage Bowl where Tank had already stopped him. I was saying that. But in the same little clip that Tim Bradley was saying was like, you never gonna demonstrate your potential and how great. I'm like, dude, the fact that Shakur Stevenson, the dude who, if y'all was on lockdown for 24/7, 365, man, I don't know if you would, I'm asking a serious question. If Shakur and Tim Bradley was in there on lockdown 24/7, 365 for a year, who would be more than likely like to come out holding somebody's pocket? Like, who would be washing whose drawers? Like, who would be like fasting from cornbread? Who? It'd be funny. Your answer shall reveal all. But y'all get what I'm saying. I'm like, man, the way you going at it and acting like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like when the cat's away, the mice gonna play. I had already gave the analogy. Just like, hey, man, you are servicing it very well. You servicing it very well. According to your peers, they're not gauging you as hard as like, you know, the standard criteria. But like, according to your peers, you're servicing it very well, sir. But who was servicing it before you? Oh, that guy, he's not quite gone to November, but it's almost like the same situation. Right. So you only getting to service it because the first string have a little situation right now. They telling into some person. They in the tent, like the first string is in the tent. So you just showing up and showing out, and you got the media and all that. We're going to see how that works out. But it's real odd how Tim Bradley had these come to Jesus moments. If there was an analogy where he'll come out and he said hey, man, listen, don't take my word for it, man. The man said he wished he could jump into Tank's brain. He wished he could take over Tank's body, man. I'm 45. I'm not down with the purple, the fuchsia, the pink era. I'm not really down with the pause era, but if there was ever an opportune time to slap an old pause in there, it was right after I heard Tim Bradley say he wished he could jump into Tank's body. That tells you everything you need to know. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't hate me. So all this hyperbole and all this other stuff, man, it's like, man, listen, all you gotta do is sit back and pay attention. Watch how people move, and look how A-sides can't even get fights right now. A-side, like I'm talking about A-sides, according to the D-Hive and Devin, they can't get a fight. The B-Hive and Boots, they can't get a fight. The Key-Hive and Keyshawn, he can't get a fight. He went around by. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. I thought all these people were A-sides except for and if and when and but. If Tank wasn't in the picture, well, Tank is on a hiatus right now. It ain't nobody got no real emotion. You know what I'm saying? It's funny to me, man. I'm just an observer, man, making all my observations. AJ Cook, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Facts. They won't admit it for nothing. They call it gag order. Why wouldn't Tank believe in himself? Like, man, he not scared of them, bro. Yeah. Tank only problem is them fighters going to play negotiation game. That's it. Yeah, that's all. I mean, for what I've seen, man, I'm like, it's just sad to witness these guys go through this thing, and it's like you a Hall of Famer. You've been there with, like, you had Teddy Atlas in your ear. You shared the ring with Manny Pacquiao, and you would sit up here and have the whole world believe that there's absolutely nothing that Gervonta Tank Davis could ever do to somebody like Shakur Stevenson. Like, when a person, because last time I checked, when you a smaller person, right, up against it to where you got all these physical advantages, you might shorter, your arms ain't as long, you ain't as strong. You gotta develop something. You gotta develop a knack to be able to get motherfuckers up off of you. You gotta develop some fuck you on your punches. You gotta develop all of that. Like, so you trying to tell me that in all your expertise and all that, you'll sit yourself in a position, in the seat, to say that this guy just would never be able to touch this other guy just because he's more defensive. Like, defense, like a stellar shutdown defense, that shit, more than likely, that shit work in football. That shit don't work in boxing. Why? Because some people with not no defense in the world, they find a way to touch your ass. That's why they put people in there with them rough, rugged, tough customer, like the Mexican fighter. Like, you're gonna have your Mexican fighter, you're gonna have your Argentinian fighter. You're gonna have to come across that style. You're gonna come across a Gustavo Lemos. You're gonna come across a Brian Castano. You're gonna come across a Pitbull. You're gonna come across that armadillo style. You're gonna come across that guy with a lot of pressure that can change levels and throw that overhand punch. You're gonna come across that. You're gonna have to deal with it. You're gonna be touched. Ask Floyd. It's just irresponsible to act like that. It's irresponsible to not, like, it's irresponsible to, like, follow a dialogue and be the very thing that you point your fingers at and say that that's the bad guy. Like, it's irresponsible to take that approach knowing that you know better. Knowing that you know boxing. Knowing that you're doing it for what? A possible check? Like, nah, I'm past that. That's the spirit of the night, man. You got to talk about some stuff that people might not be registering with them, man, but they see it. They just too scared to talk about it. And we's gonna talk about it. Yeah, so it's just odd to me that they wait for the man to be gone. That's why I said about a year ago, I said, man, y'all not gonna appreciate Tank until he hang up the gloves. And we heard it when Sean Zattel, like right when Tank was saying he was gonna retire, Sean Zattel, that nigga was getting ready to cry in that interview. He's like, man, Tank, man, you mean to tell me, man, that you this is it, man? Like, you not gonna I'm like, nigga, you was one of the main ones pushing that sloppy ass, stupid ass narrative about the bro. Now you acting like you about to cry. But all these guys are gonna show their true colors. Talking about he need to step out and show that his greatness. Like, what else? Like, the greatness is the fact of all the examples you just used. You just literally said that the stoppage bowl, Mario Barrios versus Ryan Garcia, some shit that I said last week. The Tank already stopped both of them. So what glory is it going to be chasing after either one of them? It was the same thing I was saying why Devin was so set on Mario Barrios before he ever went to 47. We've been hearing about Mario Barrios for like 2 years now. I'm like, when did Tank stop him? Now we had these Eureka moments to where somebody like Ryan fully shit or get off the pot and he wound up shitting. And he got off the pot. He wiped his ass proper like. Unstrapped Mario Barrios. Now people want to act like he ain't all this and all that because of what Tank did years ago. It's a thing called you guys cannot have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. Like anybody that go on, I was just sitting up here listening, man. I was like, man, listen, bro. If you look at, it's so funny. Like Hector Garcia, he went on, he defended against Roach. He got dropped once. He got unstrapped. He didn't do that well. Leo Santa Cruz, he was a little longer in the tooth, so he went on to do a couple things, but he didn't do. But what did Pitbull do? People will wind up going and winning another strap off of Rolly. Ryan ultimately smacked Devin and then went and put hands and feet on Mario Barrios. Last time I checked, Tank stopped both of them, so Captain Obvious, aka Tim Bubblehead Bradley, Milk Dud Head Ass Bradley. What are you talking about, Captain Obvious? What are you talking about, bro? And then he said the one who actually made Ryan putting his hands in his pocket, which is Rolly, he was like, yeah, what did he do? I'm like, you just now realizing this, Tim? How many years ago was this? Tank said that he said that Rolly was probably the hardest puncher he shared the ring with. At that time, I'm not sure. Outside the ring was sparring and all that. I know at that time that's what he said. He stopped him. He put Rolly on stilettos. And then we see Rolly outbox. Not manhandle and out power. Not out muscle. Not out dirty tactic. Outbox Ryan Garcia. We know that it was a bad night. But he stopped Rolly, bro. Rolly didn't even know really where he was until he got back in his locker room. He got put up there on them stilettos. You know how women get, you know what I'm saying, when they done had a little bit too much to drink and they got them motherfucking 6-inch heels and it's too much. It's just too much for them heels. He can't stand up. That's how Rolly was looking. So what the fuck is Captain Obvious Timothy Bradley talking about, man? He just want to come out and say, oh, man, this was a virtue signal. Say, hey, man, the media is going in. Y'all need to go ham. This was Tim Bradley's way of basically saying, I'm sorry, man. Hey, Tank, come back. But his pride won't let him. And you'll never see Andre Ward say no shit like this. Never. Like, Andre Ward is no surrender, no retreat. He feel like, hey, listen, I got something I'm gonna tell y'all, man, and y'all can put me up on the cross. Y'all can get y'all charcoal fluid and y'all matches and all of that. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all what I think. I'm gonna tell y'all exactly what I think. And y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. Think about this. What if I were to tell you that Timothy Bradley and Andre Ward, I would even say people like Max Kellerman, Sean Zattel, who else? Mike Capinger. But mainly a focus point, an emphasis on Timothy Bradley and Andre Ward. These guys are living, dare I say, vicariously through Shakur Stevenson. Cause I'm like, man, listen, man, I'm like the most diehard football fan. I grew up. I'm talking about I ate, slept, shit, breathed. Everything was football. Went semi-pro. My body couldn't handle it. My bones couldn't handle it. The amount of pressure, even when I fight, my hands get swollen, my knuckles get busted, like my bones, it's just, it can't take the contact, it can't take the power for some instance. Like, it just can't. You know what I'm saying? Had I had the DNA of like a Adrian Peterson, yeah, definitely probably would have been like known in one of these sports. Body just couldn't handle. That's just what it was. I understand that. But you had two people who, in my opinion, yeah, they got Hall of Famers. That's nothing to shake a stick at. So I don't want this to come off as disrespect. Like, this is a total salute. This is a total acknowledgement to say, listen, you all endeavored in a mano sport, a blood sport, a sport to where it's like, it's just you. It's all you. You got your coach, your team, or whatever. You get hit inside your head. It could be one punch. It could be good night. It could change. You could be paralyzed. You could lose your sight. Like, there's so many different things that could happen. So, and then for you to, and Andre Ward, to gold medal, that's one thing. So that's like the creme de la creme as an amateur. Then to go on and become a champion in, you know, multiple weight divisions, and to have multiple defenses, and to have a resume like that, and to be able to go out undefeated, that is nothing to shake a stick at. But we all know that don't mean that we don't know the rumors heading towards the end. Like, there was a couple guys, like one named Baturbiev coming along. Like, it was a couple names that had came along to where it was just conveniently the time to be able to gracefully bow out. And then Tim, you know, I mean, Tim wasn't as gifted as Andre Ward, in my opinion. Maybe the hustle, yeah, maybe the work ethic, maybe the, you know, paying attention to the secrets and playing the game and knowing all the little, you know, the things that are in the nooks and the crannies outside of having God-given abilities. Like, yeah, it's like, I sit back and I listen to how they talking about this guy Shakur, man. And I understand his defense is great, but the hyperbole on how he can't be touched and he's the most defensive ever and all these going, I can't help but think that Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley are living vicariously through Shakur Stevenson. And at the end of the day, you know what it's going to get them? It's going to get them fucked up. Because it's only going to be 3 men in the ring. It's not going to be Tim and Andre Ward and Shakur. It's not going to be Bud and Keyshawn and Shakur. It's going to be Tank, a ref that's not Harvey Doc, and Shakur in the ring. Like, all of the wishing, hoping, all of the avataring y'all doing, man, between Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley, all of that avataring y'all doing with Shakur, that shit ain't gonna work. Like, y'all might as well just come down to your senses, man. Stop being more realistic, man, because, man, all of the shit that y'all talking up until the day when y'all gonna have to eat crow after that shit is over, man. Like, we not gonna accept anything but you being like boys to men down on bended knee, man. Saying, how do I explain the way I used to cap? Like, y'all, like, come on, man. Like, y'all, like, the whole sport, like, the sport is compromised, y'all. I was shocked that Tim Bradley actually came out and was saying, listen, man, these belts mean something, the sanctuary bodies mean something and all that. I was 100%, I'm like, man, damn, Tim, if you stayed in that vein, man, I'll be liking and reposting and sharing and reviewing and speaking your praises. If you stayed in that vein, but you can't do it. You gotta be sensational. And the other part is, you wishing you could jump inside another nigga's body, bro. That's wild. I'm sure Tank ain't the only person, though. Pause. I'm sure you wanna jump in Shakur's body, too. And Ward, I just think that Ward is just, people don't see him like this, but Ward is like snobby as shit. Like, Ward is like conceited as a motherfucker. Like, I mean, you can say all that, son of God, all that. Like, I mean, no offense. You can say all that, but like, no, your ways don't line up like that. Y'all two men are living vicariously, even Bud to a certain extent. Except for Bud is like tweening right now. Because he just retired, but he's getting more attention than ever. He's doing all these interviews. Bud, Andre Ward, Timothy Bradley are living vicariously through Shakur Stevenson. So they're saying anything, they're co-signing anything, they're adding 10 times 10, putting relish and mustard and ketchup and onions and chili and anything you can imagine. They're putting all of that on to anything that goes around Shakur because they are living vicariously through this boxer. And I'm like, man, get off his nuts. Because y'all gonna steer him wrong. And then when he started looking up at y'all and he started saying, listen, y'all were yes men all along. Y'all was co-signing this all along. Nobody humbled me. Nobody told me, oh no, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Like, no, y'all was just so busy trying to like shit on this other guy that y'all let me get ahead of myself. And this is what I'm telling Shakur as a guy who used to be a fan. You keep letting all these Hall of Famers, along with Bud, who 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you keep letting these people live vicariously through you as you go down the yellow brick road with the friends and family plan. That shit gonna end up bad. I'm trying to tell you. There ain't no other way to tell you that. I mean, it's just, I just gotta, you know, we're just gonna rip off the Band-Aid, man, and just, you know, yeah, we're gonna, you know, not peroxide, we just gonna straight up use alcohol, man. We're gonna get it over with. We're gonna rip off this Band-Aid, we're gonna put some alcohol on it. You know, you can bite down on this, you know, pillow, and yeah, then we're gonna bandage you up, and then, you know, you're gonna heal. Don't mess with it. Don't pick the scab. That's what we're gonna do over here at Bodywork, man. Because we're in the era now where, like, it's too much of this stuff to where it's like, and y'all know y'all don't do this on the job, wherever you work. Y'all know y'all don't do this anywhere in the supermarket. Y'all know y'all don't do this down when y'all getting your car fixed at the auto shop. Y'all don't do this. Like, Boxing Talk Online is the only time where y'all get online and y'all actually start playing stupid and dumb. Like, I don't know. I mean, did he really? It's like, man, y'all be so damn extra with extra scrutiny, extra observation, like minuscule details with everything else. But when it's something that might paint your fighter in a bad light, or your fighter moving funny or something, y'all, you know, speaking the English, you know, comprende. Right. Oh yeah, I was watching that Pro Box before I went on. I just said, listen, man, tonight's gonna be the night where you get to actually air, or I'm giving you the opportunity to say something that everybody's not saying right now, but is just as clear as the air that we know that we need, that we just can't see, but we needed to breathe. I'll give y'all an example. And when I look at it, I think Tio may be the third or fourth person I've seen this with. Yeah, I think Tio might be like the third. Because I definitely know in this same category right here, like, you know, what I'm talking about right here, look at this, y'all. In this category right here, with that word, I just talked about this the other night. But I talked about a guy who just got plucked up out of obscurity to be in a huge mega fight with one of the biggest names from across the pond. What's that guy's name? He just got this fight. He got plucked from obscurity. Yeah, Usyk is just, this is where we at, Melazar. I was saying this is where we at. So Usyk, because he went undisputed and he did whatever in this era, and the way he did it, he can just not fight Fabio Wardley. I mean, I just didn't understand. But it's definitely gonna be whatever Usyk do. Why? Because Mayweather and Pacquiao, they the right age, they were the right time. Like, it's the active fight. Like, all things are even in that. Fight. So, and they old men. So it gotta be anything that Usyk say. Anything that he's trying to do. It gotta be. But back to what I was saying as far as being compromised. Listen, how do y'all think we just got this kind of bin fight, man? And the fight that really like started turning heads about somebody like Regis, what fight was that? It definitely wasn't. If you say to Jojo Diaz, go sit down in the corner. Right now, go take a timeout. Go sit down in the corner. Face the corner for 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Lift your right heel up and almost like put it at a 90-degree angle. And put your arms out parallel and close your eyes for 30 seconds. It wasn't the Jojo Diaz fight. Well, which fight was it, Mike? If you listen, I'm going to tell you, right? It was the Devin Haney fight. Like, I don't understand. Like, listen, man, this is one for the ages. Like, do you understand the magnitude of shit that Regis Prograis and Evan Tola were talking prior to that fight? And Evan Tola, he'll want me over because I like, man, you need somebody in your background like that. And I always compare him and Coach Lenny, even though it's a little different. Coach Lenny Wilson, he was with Richardson Hitchens from the beginning. So it's a little different. But I'm talking about the character. When you talk about the level of smack that he was talking, he was on his own liking O'Shaquie. It just O'Shaquie don't come off as arrogant or conceited. It's a thin line. Like Abdullah don't come off like that, but some fighters do. Like Richardson when he talk, yeah. Like Regis when he talks, yeah. There's a level of arrogance in the way that they deliver it. Some fighters, it's a fine line that you can walk to where people know that you're confident, and then people think that you're haughty and high-minded. It's a couple fighters that can do it, and they do it well. Where it's like, oh, okay, cool. You're like, yeah. You don't get irritated by them. But think about it. I'm taking y'all back because I need y'all to understand how I'm going to ride right here at Tio. Right now, I'm talking about Regis. Can we go back and think about how much shit Regis was talking going into that Devin Haney fight? Remember, he opened up the can of worms about Devin paying for fights and the outcome of fights. when he was down in Mexico. He was the one that dredged that up. He was the one that peeled that scab, and then they had to heal back from that. He was the one, and that was a solid point. People were like, oh, okay, damn, Regis is like, blah, okay, he talking the noise. The straight Devin fan was like, whatever, man, Devin gonna box the shit out of this dude, blah, blah, blah. Then we seen what happened. But in the build-up, Regis had said a couple things that he had me like Scooby-Doo. Ears went straight up and down like a Great Dane. He was saying that they had business with the Haneys. He wasn't at liberty to say. It had something to do about a deal in a reality TV show and all this. And I'm like, hold on, man. Like, so the animosity, you can't have this animosity if you're going to have to be on set with these niggas. Like, instantly, like me, I cut through all of the BS, man. I love you like a play cousin, Regis, but like I cut through all of it. And that's with anybody. Like the minute I feel like, okay, cool, I know what this is, it's done. I don't need to hear no more. I already know. You was compromised. You was compromised before you got in the ring. Think about it. You getting ready to fight this man. Y'all got business outside the ring with some reality TV shows type stuff. We know you an author and all that, and I was going to buy Regis' book. But what shocked me is like when I seen the performance, I'm like, hold on, man. I ain't never seen my guy Regis like that. And like Devin wasn't a known puncher, but he got the benefit of the doubt because he was sucking himself down and going up. He's going to be more hydrated, all that, the storyline between all of that. But like a puncher is a puncher, and you know, somebody that's been knocking people out, different sizes, different, like he's from, like Regis from Louisiana. He's from New Orleans. Like a scrap is a scrap is a scrap. Big, tall, fat, small. But we seen a performance and him getting dropped and him not, like arguably, think about it. Him getting dropped and him keeping his hands in his pockets and him not doing what? Him not selling out. And when you go back and look at that fight, and you can say, oh man, it was just Devin. He was just Bruce Leroy that night, and he just had the glow, and he could just, but no, man, like, you know, Regis is a killer. Like, you know that in his heart of hearts, if it come down to, you know, feeding his daughter, feeding his family, whatever, Regis is going to go out. He's one of them guys where he's not just going to bend over and toot it up. You're going to have to slap him to sleep. What did we see in that Devin Haney performance? If we being honest, did we see him sell out? So when it comes to Regis, no further questions, Your Honor. Like, go ahead. Regis, you can get down off the stand. You my man, I just had to ask those questions, okay? Before we go ahead and get T up on the stand. Now, let's fast forward. Let's fast forward to T.O. in the build up to the Shakur. What was I saying? What was Bodywork saying? Bodywork was saying this is your Heath Ledger moment. Why? Because you're going up against Batman. And that's your core. And then he got Robin. And then he got the whole city behind him. So Robin is Keyshawn. Then he got, I don't know what character you want to call Ray Ford, but he got a distant cousin and Richardson Hitchens. He just got Bud and Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley and Mike Cap and Max Kellerman and LaShawn McCoy and Malik Scott and the Turkey and then Jay Prince and he got Gotham City behind him. You the Joker. You don't care. Why? Because you got strategy and you got weapons. So I always say that a villain without any weapons is just the victim. And what happened? We heard Teofimo Lopez being very confident. Matter of fact, I'm gonna skip all the bullshit. I'm gonna tell y'all, let's fast forward to the weigh-in. The man came in with the Jabberwockies. The Jabberwocky was so bad, I actually had to go see them when they was in Vegas. I had to go get ticket. I used to fuck with the Jab. I had to see them in person. Them was some bad. The Jabberwockies was some bad. So he brought out the Jabberwockies. He was doing backflips, and he had all this energy, and he had all blah blah blah. And he had to sit down in the press conference, and he had to go against Eddie Hearn and Jay Prince and Wally Moses and Bud and Shakur and the media. Like Sergio Moore, like everybody, everybody's saying, oh, yeah, it's no way. And this is, he had to go against all of that. And I said, man, this is your time to be the Joker. The Joker don't care about all of that. Y'all remember that scene when the Joker had all that money stacked up in that warehouse? And it's like, man, somebody would have put a bullet through the Joker head if they see him do something like that, man. Somebody would have went on the other side of that bread and been scooping it away and found a way to get some water on top of all of that money that the Joker burned. The Joker didn't care about no money. The Joker only cared about sporting the plans. And in his twisted mind, a lot of ways, he was right. It's just you can't enact punishment. You can't be, what you call it? You can't be a vigilante. That's against the law. You can't take the law into your own hands and do it. Well, Teofimo Lopez had the ability to take the law into his own hands, and we all said that it was just a matter of which Teo showed up. The Southpaw Killer, Slick Boxer Gordo, or the flat guy who don't know which way is up, who running over his feet, who hasn't fixed his windshield wipers, who tend to rush in without no plan, who don't make no adjustments, too eager, bull in the china shop. Which one did we see? We didn't even see the bull in the china shop, is what I'm trying to tell y'all. We saw a guy who stood there, he waited. He kept his head at the end of motherfucking Shakur's jab. He never sold out. He never enacted on all the things that he said before. Like when he said, my career's on the line. Well, I look like letting you come up here and take over this and this and that. Never mind the conversation he had with Jay Prince and all of that. Never mind that. But knowing the caliber of Regis and the kind of fighter he is, and you look back at that Devin Haney fight, knowing that Teofimo Lopez is one of the most athletic and explosive, a lot of people put, like when it comes down to being athletic, like I'm talking about doing backflips, being explosive, him and Tank Davis was right there. Almost neck to neck. Almost. But we didn't see him sell out. With the power that be, knowing that the machine was behind Devin Haney, he was moving up, and you would have been the bridge to him actually going from legacy to legacy, and not from legacy back down to the valley and not on a mountaintop. Did we see Regis sell out in that fight? Did we see Regis make any adjustments? Did we not see Regis run into the same jab over and over and over again? And we like, hold on, man, you better than that. You a veteran. You got more power than that. Like, you got more dog than that. You got more resilience. Like, you are a try-hard. Is that not the performance we seen against Devin Haney? So when we fast forward and we see Shakur and Teofimo Lopez, is that not reminiscent of the same thing? Oh, that's just me. Like, well, we just seen Teofimo just run into the jab front foot placement. Either you thinking about getting across that front foot, and then as soon as you think about doing it because you keep doing the same thing over and over again, the jab is right there for you. Just hit your head up against it and reset it. And Shakur might pivot. He might throw a hook up off of it. He might go downstairs one time, but just enough to see what you're doing, and that the fact that you still got your hands in your pocket so he can get right back to his safe spot. But I reckon that the same performance we seen with old Regis Prograis and old Devin Haney is the same performance that we seen with Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. All you gotta do is know what you're looking at. And I always say, stop me if I'm lying. If I'm too far-fetched, oh man, here you go, conspiracy. Stop me when I'm lying then. I'll put out a link. Get up here and tell me where I'm lying. Let's hash it out. And the reason why I'm saying this, why? Why are you saying this, Mike? If you listen, I'm going to tell you why. You know why I'm saying this? Because, listen, Conor Ben from across the pond, who many people linked to, we heard Devin link to him, we heard Ryan link to him, we heard Shakur link to him. As of late, right? He was the guy. Because he had all the notoriety because of the 2 freak shows with Eubanks, right? The last time I checked, Regis Prograis couldn't get a fight. Mind you, all you people that want to shit on Pro Box, where was the last time we seen Regis Prograis? It's not a trick question. Pro Box. It was Pro Box. Who do we see him against? Jojo Diaz. Oh, the same guy who had some off the court like suspect things going on and had the alcoholism and all that. What weight class did we see him fight at? Did Regis look the same? No. So fighting at an obscure weight with Jojo Diaz, who really was a 130 pounder out of shape, got too big. Ultimately, he probably would have landed at 135, maybe 140. Maybe. We had never seen Jojo Diaz fight like at that weight class, like meeting Regis. This was a freak show. So all of a sudden, and yes, Regis decisively won, but there was parts in time to where, just like with the Frank Martin and the Nia Albright, where Jojo Diaz would have stepped on the gas, been a little bit more surgical, had a little bit more dog, or been more conditioned, he could have stopped Regis several times in that fight. He caught Regis with some shit. It was some hot shit in the midst. So with a questionable decision like that, coming up out of obscurity, how did they come up with Conor Ben and Regis Prograis? Why? Because I can easily swap out that guy right there on the screen and I can put Regis right there. Why? I had already come to realize that he was compromised, dog. And you ain't got to take my word for it. If you want to do like I do in traditional bodywork fashion, you stick to what's going on inside the ring, meaning that all you do is look at the highlights and look at the film of Regis before Devin Haney and then look at how he fought Devin Haney. All I can do is say, look at the highlights of Teofimo Lopez before he fought Shakur, and then look at him when he fought Shakur. And why is Regis getting a shot now and with one of the biggest names making a splash, leaving Eddie, got all this attention? They fucking up his momentum. They won't put Boots in there with him, but they go find Regis. Why? You've been compromised, dog. So when I see this performance, and what I was asking was, You got Teofimo Lopez coming out in the media looking like this, wearing his glasses, acting all casual, all cool, calm, and collected. And for one, I'm like, I'm not ready to see you right now. When I let the bygones be bygones, because when I wanted to dig off in your ass, everybody said I was being too harsh because you was throwing around, you was assaulting people who look like me, you was saying racial slurs, and that's not cool, no matter who's it's offensive to, no matter who they're directed to. I wanted to nip it in the bud. Everybody would say, oh no, you being too, whatever you do. Okay, so I let it go. I said, okay, so since we ain't gonna jump on his ass now, since Tim Bradley and Sean Tatel condoned that shit back then, and I wanted to nip it in the bud and say, no, let's not play on this. They wanted to wait right before the fight with Shakur to start saying that Shakur needs to punish him for this and this. And I said, first of all, Shakur is not the kind of guy that's going to punish Teofimo Lopez. If you're going to get somebody to do that, that would be Gary Antoine Russell. That would be Boots. That would be Subpar before he lost his punch resistance. That would be somebody who be trying to put their foot all the way up in Teofimo's ass. That's not Shakur, the safety first fighter. The jab fester. The fencer. Mr. Make you miss, and then every now and again I'll make you pay. He's not the guy to send in for the job to actually punish T.O. But if the right T.O. showed up, the T.O. that had success against a Lomachenko or Southpaw, the T.O. that had success against the taller, rangier Josh Taylor, albeit European fighters, but you get what I'm saying. He had success. The two biggest names in 35 and 47 in the time when he fought him, the biggest pelts that he could get on the wall, just like the pelt that Shakur was going after in securing the Teofimo Lopez. Even though he knew that Teofimo Lopez had not fixed his windshield wipers. And guess what? He was compromised. And they're just now coming around like doing snippets and clips to where T.O. was oozing out and saying basically, long story short, that what had happened was the night before I had like scraped my kneecap, and even though it didn't really break the skin, it was just the shock of me actually being at the potential of having so much danger to where my knee was in jeopardy. It brought out the little boy in me, and when I seen Shakur, who was a real man, I just really couldn't let go of my hands. AKA a bunch of BS. Teofimo didn't fight his fight. And so I was saying, listen, I'm not even ready for you right now. Like normally, like when Brian Norman did what he did, I wanted to hear from Brian Norman. I wanted to see, but the first couple things that I heard from Brian Norman said, okay, cool. He's ready to be back. Why? Because he's talking right. But when you ain't talking right, I'm not ready for you to be up in the bright lights. I'm not ready for you to be asking questions. I'm not ready for you to be out here parading around like you really trying to make American boxing great again, and you didn't go out on your shield. You didn't take no risk. You bent over, you pulled your drawers to the side, and you tooted it up and said, take it. And Shakur took it. And even though all these boxing heads, all these people that know boxing, all these sweet science guys or whatever, nobody is being as critical on you that they were with Mario Barrios, which was my problem. You go back and listen to what they said about Mario Barrios and how, oh man, he just let Ryan do this, he just let Ryan do that, and blah, blah. But when you flip it over and you ask, okay, what did T.O. do to assert himself to actually get that victory? They'll just say, oh man, Shakur, he just that great, man. There's nothing he could do. It's like, yeah, knock it off. Teofimo Lopez is compromised. And I'm not ready to hear from him. I don't believe, I got trust issues. It was hard enough for me to muster courage and say, you know what, listen, man, Shakur, he's already the favorite going in. Everybody's on his side. You got Jay Prince intimidating you. You got you out here looking like, your father whatever happened with him, I didn't even want to believe the words and what they said he was doing. I'm like, man, they recording your father. Wally out there spying on him. Shakur bringing him a bottle with the thing, and he wasn't even at the conference. It was just you against Jay Prince and Eddie and Mr. Versace and the whole motherfucking royal family out there. And it was just T.O. And part of me, I kind of always do kind of go for the underdog a little bit, just because it's like, hey, man, if you could do this, man, you could shake some shit up. So, in a way, I was saying, man, the business of boxing needed T.O. to win. And then we're seeing the afterthoughts of why I thought like that, because the fact that T.O. didn't win, you see the state of boxing. Where one person said, listen, y'all, and I'm going to break down what he said here in a second. One person said they were going to move up, get the belt, drop the belt, let their mans have it, and then go back down to 35. The other guy says, nope, right now I got to make a statement. I'm going to make my statement against my opponent. I'm going to stop him, and then I'm going to 147. And they hosed us because they told us, like mainly Batman. Batman said, listen, I'm the type where I could tell you something and go do something totally different. And it's exactly what he did. Why? Because knowing that there was a fee to pay, he didn't pay the fee. Thereby knowing that if you don't pay the fee, because it's pay to play, if you don't pay, you can't play. And he didn't pay. So they said, no way, Jose. Took his strap. All this fake outrage. Oh, he shouldn't do that. He shouldn't do. All fake ass outrage they did. He never had intentions of going back down. And your man said, nope, I'm not taking that belt. I'm not staying here. I'm going to 147. Guess what now? Now he campaigning at 140. So now the problem that we had at 35, where we had two BFFs in the Friends and Family Network, we had that issue down at 35. Now in the hottest division in boxing, we got the same issue. Why? Because Shakur is not talking about going down. He's staying at 40 and he's trying to get somebody else to acquiesce and try to come down and meet him on some freak show shit. And right now, everything is pointing to the fact that Keyshawn Davis is not going to 47. And then later today, I heard a video from a guy that I really appreciate, really respect, Jahad Tucker, talking about he pretty much salutes tag team boxing. I said, damn, man. That's wild. That's wild. So I don't listen to me. I don't want you to make me the judge. I always say, listen, man, everything that I say, hold that shit up to the microscope. Hold it up to the light. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. State your case. Build your argument. Let's duke it out. Let's spar it out. But stop me when I'm lying. Put it on the scale. We want to know the length, the width, the breadth, the depth, the buoyancy, the capacity, the volume of everything that we're talking about. So we measure it. And the way Teofimo is acting right now, how he can just casually stroll out with his little personality glasses, because these niggas don't wear glasses. That's another thing. If you don't wear glasses, don't wear glasses. But when you're wearing personality glasses, guess what? You're being a personality. And remember, I told y'all, this shit is not boxing no more. This is scripted. This is WWE, WWF. Hopefully, these guys will be like, yeah, I'm going to play this role up until I get my shot. And if I get my shot, I'm knocking this motherfucker out. We need more people to embody that spirit. Not this scripted stuff. But I'm going to show y'all how it's scripted. Why? Because Teofimo Lopez back out here doing videos talking about he's making American boxing great again, and he's looking to go up to 47 and get a big name. I was like, bitch, where? Who? Y'all trust Teofimo Lopez? After that? with a guy that just jabbed you? Front foot placement and a jab? I'm not ready. I'm not there yet. You haven't shown me anything. You haven't even shown me that you're still hungry. All you're getting ready to show me is that you were part of the plan to where if you do this, quid pro quo. If you do this for me, like where you going in, yeah, you win, or you make a valiant effort here, you throw your jab from like 5 feet out trying to hit Shakur. Yeah, keep throwing, just flick the jab, man. Make it look, yeah, just flick the jab all the way out there knowing that your arm's too short to box with the guard, and he got Cadillac reflex. Yeah, just keep doing the same thing, and every now and again, man, like run into the jab and then make a strange face after you run right into his jab, like you know, like it hurt. And now you right back out here talking about you want another big fight? Like, no. You part of the plan. This is the same reason why Regis Prograis' name out of everybody else. Think about it. A lifelong 140-pounder, just like Richards and Hitchens, just like Gary Antoine Russell. A lifelong 140-pounder is going to go fight Conor Benn at 150? Plucked from obscurity? But who wanted to see Regis? People might have said they wanted to see Regis and Jojo Diaz again, with Jojo Diaz, you know, fighting at the proper rate and him having that, you know, adequate notice and all that, like to be able to do it again, like in shape and knowing that, yeah, because they thought that Jojo Diaz might have won. But who the fuck would have ever thought that Regis needed to go from 140 to 150 to go fight Conor Benn out of nowhere? Why? Because Regis is part of the script. Y'all know how they say reprising role? Regis is part of the script. Why you think he wasn't gonna kick up so much dust when he had that one-way rehydration clause and everybody wanna say, oh man, you the only one that retire? No, because that's a factor. Why is it not a factor? Ask Richardson Hitchens with the 10-pound rehydration that they had to go through and why he didn't make it and how he got sick. That shit is real. And he just like to go up to 153 after the fight. He don't even want to blown up like no 25 pounds. His shit is like 13 pounds all in. But why did Regis get his reprisal role? He part of the script. And they microwave Teofimo's. I don't know if he should be out here talking to media and doing all that. And we're going to break this down. But like, he's part of the script. This is his reprising role. Like, all we got to do, yeah, we're going to bring you back. And this is what we're going to have you do. Just, yeah, come on. And we're going to get you to do this. And we're going to get you to do that. Like, yeah. It's too early, Teo. I don't believe you. You need more people. I don't believe you. I don't. I do not believe. And your own people say, like, your people. Like, the people that you sit on their bunk beds. Y'all got the matching pajamas with the, you know what I'm saying, the heated socks and all of that. You know what I'm saying? I think y'all got matching like stocking caps and all of that. They said that they saw you and you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Like you quit. You didn't put forth a valiant effort. You didn't hold down the fort. I said, we can't even leave you with the women and kids. You got to come out here with the men just so we can keep our eyes on your ass. Because we don't believe you. You're going to give up the whole fort. You're going to let the Trojan horse come on in and loot and plunder and take all the women. But then again, boxing got me having trust issues. Devin Haney and the British guy both make him look awful. Jabbed him to the dirt. Body, you ain't black. We still rocking with Regis. Nah, I'm not. I can't get with no. I'm not getting with no B-roll, man. I can't be getting with no B-roll. In the developmental stage, yeah, I can be with B-roll. If you're not like marquee guy, you working your way up and you haven't made it there, yeah. But like, nah, I can't get with no B-roll. They coming you in to be the opponent. You're like, you the Who's Superman's nemesis? This one? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Lex Luthor. Okay, this one. Okay. Well, what about the next one? Aquaman. Okay, cool. What about the next one? Oh, yeah. You always being brought in to be the opposite, the one who's going to get conquered. Like, yeah, you got all this and all that, but like, you're being brought in to lose. I can't get with that in boxing, especially when you've been compromised. So what I'm going to do is hard for me to believe as well. They put a solid game plan for Loma while it lasted and fought till the end. You telling me that the best T.O. could do ain't buying it. Exactly, bro. But I always say, listen, man, Dev, I appreciate you, man, and your feedback. Salute. I hope you enjoying your evening, man. But I always say, listen, don't take my word for it, because I got the facts. So I got to do this. We're going to break it down. And I'm going to ask you, how does the things that he's saying, is it believable or not? Don't take my word for it. But copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowances made for fair use purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair. And I just want to tip the balance in favor of fair. I want to have an honest conversation. Are these guys compromised? So we're going to listen to T.O. I already showed you all the ways that Regis was compromised. Why would you sign your name to a one-way rehydration clause? Knowing you got business with these guys after the fight for a reality TV show and whatever else deals you got going on, because you going Hollywood too. You're looking at life after boxing too, which I understand. Get your bread, but as a diehard boxing fan, me no comprende. But with no further ado, let me do this. Here we go.
Welcome back to Inside the Ring. Max, Malik, Cop, Shady. Let's continue our discussion on Ryan Garcia. Yeah. Our informant managed to sneak backstage after the fight and talk with Teofimo Lopez, who shared his thoughts on Ryan Garcia's performance, among other things.
Mike Coppinger here with The Ring with Teofimo Lopez, one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world, two-time Ring Magazine champion. Teo, we are here moments after Ryan Garcia just looks very impressive in a win over Mario Barrios, first world title victory. And of course, now he has a title at 147, which is the weight class that you're going to. Yeah. This is good for you, right?
Oh man, this is great. Honestly, great turnaround. It's great for the sport. Make boxing great again is what we saw tonight. Ryan Garcia looked phenomenal. They always talk about which Ryan Garcia we're going to get, and we got the one that they talk about, and that's a King Rai.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I thought he looked super sharp in there. The jab was on point. He was fast. He was active. Yep. And he didn't just throw the left hand, right? He threw the right hand. That's when he scored that knockdown in the first round. What did you like most about his game tonight?
I think what I enjoyed most about it and being there in the corner, like on the side, just from, just watching from that view, I think he was just listening to his father a lot, Henry. And I love that communication, most importantly. And then just seeing him,
Y'all hear this nigga? First of all, he said we was just wondering which one we was going to get. Like, that's the shit that they were saying about you. That's not Ryan. I dispelled that. Like, Ryan had a bad performance against Rolly. Ryan has not had the roller coaster, the simulation of the roller coaster ride, or the correlation between the roller coaster fighter. That was Teofimo Lopez, up and down, up and down. The way he fought Sandor Martin versus the way he fought Josh Taylor. The way he fought Jermaine Ortiz versus the way he fought Lomachenko. He's the up and down fighter. We had one bad performance that we can accredit to Ryan, but see, they were already putting this SCRIPT together because they had started putting that script out prior to Ryan. Because I kept saying, what are they talking about? This up and down, this wishy-washy, this A or B Ryan. I've seen him had a bad performance. Rolly made him put his hands in his pockets. Outside of that, I don't see this up and down to where he performs and this and this and that. He's not like how they say Sean Porter was, how he performs to the level of his competition. And that was the description that they gave to, that I personally gave to Teofimo Lopez prior to this, because all points led to the fact that when Teofimo was in there against a top dog, he's going to perform excellent. Very few flaws, be on point. When there's somebody in there that, don't make a difference, or he don't get up for it because he can't get up, then he's not going to get up. That was it prior to this Shakur. Dead Wall, man, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, man. Keep cooking. Thank you, Dev, man. I appreciate that, bro. It means a lot, man. T-Ho. Yeah. But listen to what he's saying now, and listen to just watch him, y'all. Just watch him and listen to him. Let me proceed.
Not really waste his shots, waste his punches. He was really his selection of punching was phenomenal tonight.
And then, of course, like we said, right, you are now going to 147 pounds. I know you want another Ring Magazine championship. I don't know if anyone's, I think it's been done before, but I don't know if it's pretty rare, right? To win a Ring Magazine championship in 3 weight classes. I'm not sure. But what are the big fights for you there? I would love to see a fight between Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia. How about that?
No, yeah, those all those type of fights, man. I think it's great. I think it's wonderful for the sport. And, you got the likes of Garcia now. You got Rolly Romero. You got Devin Haney, you got Lewis Crocker. So there's so many ways to make this happen, right? And
so down, this man seems like he's motivated to fight. Like, you see how he talked about all of these guys, like it was a sparkle, it was a gleam. It was like, okay, but how do we believe you, T.O.? How do we believe you? People they're probably going to question Devin because it might be much like the Shakur, even though people might reason Devin got more power, but his output is a lot, like more like he's doing 70 punches. But like, how do we believe you? But it was a spark, a twinkle, a glitch, a gleam in Teofimo's eyes. We're talking about going to welterweight. That's kind of weird. But let's carry on.
I'm just grateful and thankful to be in this division now, and I just can't wait to kickstart it.
Yeah, and what do you think is going to be better and different about you at 147? I know you're a big guy. Do you feel like you just outgrew the weight?
See? And why do they do that? Why do you give him a way out before? Like, you already built in. You gave him an alley-oop. You think you just outgrew the weight? Shakur Stevenson is bigger. Like, he's taller, longer. He's bigger than Teofimo Lopez. He's been bigger than Teofimo Lopez for 2 years. If y'all want to buy this shit that he was too big, he outgrew all of a sudden overnight, no. Because if they were going to pay that nigga $12 million or $13 million or $15 million, he would have got in there with Gary Antoine, Richardson Hitchens. He would have got in there with any Dalton Smith. But why did Mike Cappinger give him an out? Why? Why not just ask the question? Why'd you lead him? Right, AJ. They always do that, don't they? But let's carry on, man. They always do that. They leading them in. Don't lead the witness. I done watched enough CSI and what was it called? Special Victims Unit. I done watched enough to where it's like, don't be leading, Your Honor. You know what I'm saying? Objection overruled. Objection sustained. Stop leading the witness, y'all. Like, this is like T.O. the witness. Hey, Mike Cap, stop leading the witness, man. When we come over there and yap slap your bitch ass.
I do. I believe that it was that time. You know what I mean? I think that there was a few things that needed to be changed, but you know, we're here now. You know, you live and you learn, and I think that's a part of it. As long as you don't quit in this. It's just lessons, and I'm grateful for them. I take them with me. And
hold on now. Did he just tell him himself, as long as you don't quit? So he figured as long as I just stood there and let this nigga go oops upside my head with a jab, and I kept tripping over his front foot. I didn't quit. They can't say I quit. Nah, son. It's not gonna be enough for me to be. I'm not buying that shit. I gotta see you go into a scrap and thug it out. I gotta see you fight Andy Hirioka. You know what I'm saying? And pull a Gary Antoine before I believe shit else you got to say, T.O. But that's just me. That's just me.
And I look forward to seeing myself at 147 and possibly, Ryan Garcia. I would love that next.
And look, we know that Teofimo Lopez is a guy that likes the big fights. He doesn't like tune-ups. Are we going to see you go right into a big fight, right into a title fight in your first fight at the weight?
Well, this is why we're here with you, Mike Coppinger. This is why we're here, man. The ring, I mean, those are the things that get me going, too, you know. Like you mentioned just recently right now, 3 ring magazines in 3 different weight divisions. I mean, it's really unheard of, right? Maybe Max Kellerman, you guys could go back and forth on that, right? Just things like this, man. I'm grateful for it, so I can't wait to see what I...
But if things like the Ring magazine get you up, why were you impotent? Why did you have problems? Why you couldn't get it up when it came down to Shakur Stevenson? Was that not for the Ring? And your lineal? And your dignity? And the fact that you the smaller guy moving up? The same way them guys at 47 will be looking at you now, like, I'm not gonna let this little motherfucker come up here and take my shit. You told us I can't allow this. Like, I'm the takeover. I can't let somebody come over and take over. And they didn't even take over. You said, man, I don't even want this cornbread, man. Yeah, he got this one is blueberry. This one right here. This one I put a little cinnamon and what I think, some honey. Yeah, this one. And then this one, I just sprinkled a little bit of brown sugar on there, man, and just made sure that it was creamy. Yeah, you could have that one too. You gave your cornbread up, bro.
Do next at 147.
Yeah, of course. And Teofimo's getting an ESPN alert, I think, you know.
Hey, no. That was a
Ring magazine alert, yeah.
Yeah, that was Ring magazine. What are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis?
But look, 147 again. We talk about Devin Haney looking so good against Brian Norman, winning the title. You and Devin Haney were so close to fighting last August. Can we see that revisited now?
Absolutely, man. I'm the guy that there's a new sheriff in town. You know what I mean? So.
This is what I be talking about. When you be letting your favorite fighter say whatever the fuck the hell that come out his mouth and you don't check him. How are you the new sheriff in town? Like, no. You know who got the right to be able to call themselves the new sheriff? Like, or to be able to say that it's a new sheriff in town? You know who got the right to be able to say it's a new sheriff in town? People like this from New York. He can say it's a new sheriff in town. Nigga, you just got beat up. You just got beat up by Shakur Stevenson with a jab and front foot placement, and you're going up to 147. And I argue, mark my words, This is going to be like Isaac Pitbull Cruz at 140. This is going to be like Cambosis at 140. This is going to be like Liam Paro at 147. Arms too short to box with the God. Those are not their weight divisions. 147 right now is not Teofimo Lopez's weight division. It's not. His power ain't been the same since 35. So he's going up there without fixing the technical flaws. He can't get past a jab. He can't get past a jab from a southpaw. He can't get past a jab from a southpaw. He's moving up to where people are shrinking down from middleweight down to welterweight. The dimensions are going to be ill. Way longer arms. Even if you were to have him go, he couldn't even box somebody like Albert Bell right now. As technical he is, and even though he's a smaller guy, I would love to see the sparring. I would love to see the sparring. But to say that there's a brand new sheriff in town, going up to 147 from a guy that was moving up from 135, who did not clear out by any stretch of an imagination 135 at all. And he whooped your ass. Knock it off, Tio. Knock it off.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to the big fights, the fights that make sense, fights that have storylines, and I think this is the perfect time.
And of course, you know, you said mention all the different title holders. What is your favorite fight, though? I mean, can you give us a name, Tio? We know you like to call people out.
No, I mean, they're all favorites. They're all favorites. You can't tell me not one person wants to see Teofimo with any of these new champions and the current champions at 147. You just can't. So this is perfect. I can't wait. The Ring magazine is still vacant until number 1 and number 2 throw down. And so I have time. I have time this year. Would like to fight twice the rest of this year. And, 2 more times. So that makes it 3. Let's get it.
So, all right, when do you think we can maybe see Teofimo Lopez back in the ring then?
Mike, when can we see me again? When can the world see it? This summer?
I like summer.
I like May, June, July. We could do it. Absolutely. Yeah.
And of course, you know, I ran into you. We ran into each other at Zuffa Boxing a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Everyone saw you ringside with Nick Khan.
Mm-hmm.
What was your thoughts on your first Zuffa experience?
Honestly, for it being my first time, I know they say it's Zuffa number 3, but then you got to also include the Canelo and Crawford, right?
Mm.
But overall, phenomenal stuff. I think it's great to see the build-up. It's almost like seeing young fighters that are hungry.
He got the Zuffa cosign, yo. So here he is, cosigning Zuffa, a.k.a. the Plantation. Sipping the Kool-Aid, y'all. But Bodywork just be putting shit up out his ass, right? Right.
Those are the ones you got to watch out for. But then the platform, right? Paramount Plus, phenomenal access to many different avenues of how can I say, increasing your platform, right? Increasing your own status and letting the world know you. So I liked it. I enjoyed it, especially the venue. I've been there at the Apex. I've been there for other fights, especially with the UFC. So it's great to see overall how it looks. You know?
Yeah. And obviously, you know, the fight didn't go your way a couple of weeks ago. But I think what's getting lost in the shuffle is, you know, what the kind of star you are. I mean, you and Shakur Stevenson sold out Madison Square Garden. It wasn't an empty seat in the house. You got to fight in your hometown. I mean, when you look back, what kind of experience was that?
It's historical. I mean, since 1971, March 6th, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, number 1. They fought at Madison Square Garden, 1971. And we just broke the most attendance from that time of date of fight between myself and Shakur Stevenson. Couldn't be done without the likes of Ring, Sella.
All that pride and all that, you know, it would be good if you took pride in the fight. I'm not buying this, y'all. Like, you can't tell me that this, like, man, where's the shame? I know your fighter. Listen, I know being a boxer is hard. It's just like playing football. I've lost on the football field. I've been around people who, whenever they lose, they cry and they be violent and all that. I don't get all like that. Like, but I don't like losing. But like, where's the shame? It's almost like he conceded to being an op. It's like, yeah, all of these guys, and yeah, I mean, being up here, this is the pinnacle. And listen, man, we outsold this and all, but you didn't come and bring a show. You had fans that was pulling for you, saying, man, listen, man, I know Tio, man, when deep down inside, when the tough get going, the going get tough, and he gonna show up. He ain't do that. What's up, Aaron Jones?
What's up, Mike, man? Just chilling, man. Listening to you cook up a storm, brother.
Bro, do any of this sound right? Like, am I being Don Quixote and shit? I'm just running after. Look, it's a windmill right there, right? But but I see a fire breathing dragon, and I'm going to go get the water. Like, am I just out of bounds? But like, do any of this shit seem right or sound right to you?
Not even a slightest bit. You so proud of y'all selling out. So y'all sold out just for you to come in there and not do nothing. Just to get jabbed all night. People came to see a jab. They paid their hard-earned money to see a jab. I'm not buying it, bro. See, I don't want to be no hater, but they was looking at the crowd. You know, when there's a sellout crowd, you pan the camera. I'm not gonna bring up a certain fighter name, but when you pan the crowd, you want to see celebrities. You feel me? You know the ambiance need to be right. Man, they pan that camera around the crowd. It was boxers. All I say was boxers. They must ain't want everybody to see who really was in the attendance. Cause I ain't buying that. They sold it out with people that really wanted to come see it. Because if you think about it, I think I heard them say they gave Shakur, I think it was Shakur or somebody, he bought 300 tickets to give out. And, you know, man, hey, you know, bro. you ain't imagining things, Bodywork, man. You're not saying shit. It's just what it is. Like, how can you sit on that couch and actually say it's a new sheriff in town when you ain't even... You was the sheriff at 140 when you beat Josh Taylor. And after that, you had lackluster after lackluster. It ain't unified, ain't do nothing, just sat right there waiting. That's what it's really giving. Like, they was waiting to feed him to the wolves, bro. It's like they was... It ain't even had to be Shakur. It was gonna be somebody. You feel me? That they was gonna feed him to, because he was just sitting right, like, even when he had the spicy dead Bodywork, it was like, okay, like, bro, Gary Russell got a belt now. Didn't hear him say his name. He ain't wanna fight Matisse. It was just like he was just sitting up there waiting, I guess, for that.
Yeah, that he waited for a cash out. And this the other thing. Like, tell me, in which martial art? So I know you start off as a yellow. I think you start off as a yellow and then they go to brown. Like, I think yellow first. But tell me, in which martial arts class can you go to take your test? You fail miserably with no effort. And they say, all right, well, we're going to move you up. And now you're going to be formidable because it's a fresh new start. It's like, no, you have to go back at the level where you were, because you allowed a guy that never stepped foot in 40. And you have been there for years, a couple years. And you beat the top dog one up there. You let this guy come up there and take your spot. And now you think, in your heart of hearts, that you can move up the welterweight and be recognized and formidable as one of the top guys. It's like, no, bro. Like, you let a guy with no experience at 140 come up there and just take your shit with a jab. Like, It's like, I'm gonna run down on the block and I'm gonna take the block over with one Glock. No, I'm gonna get sent back in a pine box. Like that's what's gonna happen. So no, I'm not buying it. And I just want to finish the rest of this. Let me just play the rest of this real quick. I'm not buying none of this stuff.
Turkey. I think everybody in conjunction of that. So it worked out perfect. It was the perfect place to put it. History, 54 years, 10 months and a half, probably. It hasn't been broken. I doubt somebody could do that again, other than Teofimo.
Look at that, Max Kellerman. You know, you think you're the expert on history. Teofimo Lopez dropping game on you and me right now. So respect, Teo. And
Nah, he dropping game on you.
And
I love boxing. That's why we're still here.
well, we love having you in boxing. And look, I personally think you're going to be a lot better after this. I don't ever, downgrade somebody because they lose one fight, especially against another great fighter. If you take tough fights and you don't duck, there will be losses. So I give you a lot of credit for taking the fight, putting your title on the line. And of course, it's no secret, right, that people have been criticizing your father a little bit. Can you please set the record straight? He is your trainer, correct?
My father, yeah, he's still my head trainer. I think he just needs some things that he needs to work on within himself personally, just so I can get him back refocused. That's all it is. But we'll add some other people in addition to it, change a few things. That's part of it. You need to learn from it. But as far as it's a father and son dynamic duo, that always stick. That always stay. And, Ryan Garcia just mentioned it a little bit while ago after winning and receiving the WBC welterweight title. He says that I wouldn't be here without my father. I want to give this to my father. He gave the belt to his father. He talks about always enjoy that relationship.
But the thing is, it's different with them. They were undefeated. You were undefeated. You haven't been undefeated with your father for a couple years. People have already been saying that emotionally, and then whatever he had personally going along, like he wasn't the best. So I'm never gonna be one to say to break up a father and a son. I'm just gonna say that you can't live vicariously through Ryan and his father either, nigga.
Bro, I was just ready to say that. Don't try and ride out day one, brother.
Like that shit ain't got nothing to do with you. They like a well-oiled machine. They've proven it. We don't know if Goosen went over there to throw Mario. Like this game got me looking at everything. Like I question every motherfucker thing. I don't take shit for granted.
And that I do. I'm not gonna switch it. If anything, we just add to it. That's what we're gonna do in this time around.
That's a great point. Ryan Garcia brings back his father after training with a few different guys, right? Joe Goosen, Derek James, and then he wins his first world title with his father in his corner.
And how did that look? How did Ryan look tonight?
Look, the best I've seen him in a long time, yeah.
And who was in his corner?
Henry Garcia.
Exactly. So,
but you look like shit, and your father was in your corner, and you didn't do no adjustments. So what the fuck are you talking about?
This just a lot of us contradict ourselves in many ways. I think right now,
absolutely, like you just did, motherfucker.
Father just needs to focus on himself and how to adjust himself, and then we'll be right back as new.
And how much better do you think you're going to be at the new weight? Again, I think you had 6-7 fights at 140 pounds. I know you're a guy that, you're 27 years old now, I believe.
No, I wish, right?
Oh, 28?
28, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, you're still 27 years. But do you think you're going to be that much better at the weight? I mean, how tough was that weight cut?
I think, honestly, the weight cut wasn't as difficult.
It wasn't the weight cut, Mike Cap. Stop trying to get this nigga a way out. Stop spoon-feeding him.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys?
Salute, Melazar.
What's up, man?
Hey, Mr. Rogers. Mira. No. But you know what? It's two different fathers. It's two different damn fathers. Because Ryan Garcia's father, he used to sleep in a car to let his kids sleep in the hotel to go to these the amateur fights, right? And he has to be a judge so he can get it. They let him have a room for the fight so he don't have to sleep in the car because he take his kid to be the best he want to be, right? Teofimo's father used his son as a something to be in the spotlight, and he likes to drink, and he's a freaking pain in the ass. Like, it's two different fathers, and I think Teofimo needs to take his father out of his corner to see if he can do something new and different, and Ryan Garcia need his father in his corner. Take all the bullshit out, and when daddy say, "Hey, stop the bullshit. Let's go and train. You know, he listened to his father. It's not like the other trainers that he had. So it's a big difference. And we all know Teofimo's father is a freaking drunk. You know, that I think that don't help.
Yeah, I think for what we're gonna hear and hear, it's like he don't say it, but he say it. Let me just. It's only like 3 minutes left. Let me play the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, play it.
Cool,
Play
but
it.
I think it was just the fact that once I got to the 40, once I hit 40, it took me. I couldn't pass even with Barboza. I couldn't pass 6 pounds over the limit the next day. I fought Barboza at 146 the next day, the day of the fight. The same thing happened with Shakur. I was at 146, 146 and some change for a Shakur fight. And it took me a long time it takes me 3 days to go back to my actual weight of like 152, 153.
Oh, that is surprising, right? Because I imagine earlier when you were fighting at 140 that you were rehydrating properly, right?
No.
You see, y'all hear this?
Now the new excuses. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I wasn't gaining weight. Who said that gaining a lot of weight make you difference? You know, supposedly if you're in 148, you will move faster in the ring and will be more agile than be fighting like what 20 pounds overweight. Look what happened to Matias. Shit. No, bro. Like excuses or making, he's in the media, they're asking questions, so he had to make some excuses why, I don't hydrate properly or whatever bullshit he wants to say. Bullshit. Shakur school you. That's what happened. Accept it. You wasn't there, you don't have a good corner, and Shakur fucking school you. Be a man.
That's it. It's 2 minutes left. Let me just play this.
Oh yeah, and I always do. I always watch out, especially ever since that incident that I had with Cambosos. So you learn from your mistakes, right, and lessons. So, but all this had to happen. I had the feeling of knowing that it could change. But I'm grateful that we shared the ring with Shakur Stevenson. He got his win. He's got his dub, and love to see what's next for that guy and see what's in store for boxing.
All right, and I can't wait to see what's.
No mention of wanting to get back. Y'all notice how with Tank, like Tank had a draw, Devin had the thing with Ryan. It's like all this emotions, all the fans say, hey, no, you gotta go get your get back. There's no mention of no get back, as if this was all part of
like they just wanted to move on. Like, all right,
Yep.
on to the next one. Hurry up, everybody.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fight that you have a rematch and whatever, and they don't do it. You saw what happened with Puello and Matias. Why you have to bring Dalton Smith? He got a clause, like a rematch clause. Let's have that fucking rematch then. Fuck it. No. Dalton Smith from England, whatever. Nobody know it here. Was more difficult, but we saw it. But anyway, like yeah, they got a storyline and stuff. Like, why you're happy to see what's going on for the career of that boxer?
Exactly.
Your career. What's going on with your career?
Exactly.
Who you gonna fight next? What you want? Like, get the fuck out of here.
And that's it. It's 2 minutes left.
In store for Teofimo Lopez. You're one of the biggest stars in boxing, and we can't wait to see you chase a welterweight title and a third Ring Magazine championship. Thank you for the time. What's your final message?
To everybody, man, I appreciate you guys, honestly. And look, no matter what, I told myself I wanted to be like of Muhammad Ali, and I rewrote history with his name on it. He lost to Joe Frazier 15 rounds, unanimous decision. I lost to Shakur Stevenson 12 rounds, unanimous decision. I think I am truly living the.
Yeah,
Oh
he
my
accepted
God,
the fact.
delusional.
You see what I'm saying? He accepted the fact. That's why I say, man, this shit.
Fucking delusional.
The path of it. Muhammad Ali lost 5, 6, 7 times, whatever the case be. This is part of it. So I want you guys to know something though. What would you rather have? A guy that's watching out for his O now, or a guy that's gonna fight everybody no matter what and make boxing great again, truly, as it was and as it has been since the 1867, since John, what's his name? James L. Sullivan, or John L. Sullivan, excuse me. John L. Sullivan, from bare knuckle converting to the modern boxing gloves, 1867. This is what it is. It's traditional. This is our life. This is our sport. I am Teofimo, the takeover. We still taking over. I'm here to inspire all of you guys, the youth, the Latinos, the culture. Absolutely, my brothers, my sisters, everybody, man. I'm grateful for it. So thank you guys for always supporting, and I can't wait to give you guys more exciting fights.
All right, well, there you have it from Teofimo Lopez, the man himself, and we thank you for the history lesson and for teaching Max Kellerman a little bit about boxing history as well. Thank you.
No, you know what you should do?
Yeah. Fuck it.
Yeah, get him the fuck off, man.
It's delusional. He want to
Lord have
compare
mercy.
his fucking
I didn't even listen to that. Only
Muhammad Ali with Joy Frazier.
Lord.
That was a war, a 15-round war. They called him.
This where we at, y'all. This is where I'm trying to tell y'all, man. He's compromised, man. Regis, him and Regis, they're both compromised, man. Listen, like, you got to hear me out. How did they pull Regis? How did they pick Regis out of everybody?
Because
a guy that's gonna fight at 150.
You know, Regis don't have a lot of good fight, because you know what happened with Devin Haney, and then what happened over there in Britain with this Catterall. So, you know, those fight wasn't. He don't look good. So he's chasing that back. Conor Ben, you know, they're trying to. Oh, the guy sell a lot in England and whatever bullshit. In England, nobody care about him. You know, like, they trying to sell that fucking trash boxer as he's a big name or main eventer when he isn't. You know, he's a British guy that his father was a great boxer, but he has done nothing in boxing. You know, but Regis Progress is a name that the American people know, and he's chasing that back. So whatever. I see why they pick up Regis, and Regis say yeah, because he's at the end of his career and he know it, and he know he was not gonna get a real title soon. So Sufa came up, offered him some money. I bet a couple millions. He said, fuck it, yeah, why not? But this is a gimmick fight. For me, Conor Ben versus Regis Progress, that's a gimmick fight.
That's it.
Yeah. What's up, Dev? Salute, Dev. What's up?
Salute. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You've been cooking this whole show, man. Shout out to the panel.
What's up?
I don't have too much to comment on the T.O. thing, man. You kind of laid it out, Bodywork. I just can't trust him no more. I put in the chat, I said he's officially been taken over. It's no longer the takeover. He's been taken over.
Yeah.
You know, he was one of my favorite guys, especially at 135. I love the style. I love the tenacity. You know, I would never have in my life think Tio would do some shit like this, especially in a big fight like this. I don't even want to see him in the mix at 47. To be honest with you guys, I think 47 right now, how it's laid out, I think it's perfect. The storylines all over them. Yeah, the storylines all over the place at 47, and I don't want Tio disrupting that mix with his nonsense. So yeah, man, I'm off the train too, man. I can see it. I see exactly what you guys are talking about.
But see, with me, Dev, you know, my lady get on me all the time. She's like, "Oh man, your heart, you know, you be giving too many people just." And I'm like, yeah, but if I go the way I used to go, man, I'll be a bitter old man. People already got a stone face, so I already gotta overcome that, because people see me and think I'm just like evil. They think I'm mean.
No.
I'm like, I can't help it. But the thing is this, when it comes down to like believing somebody, it's like I've come to realize that, like, you know that saying when they say when people show you who they are the first time, believe them. It's like you kind of gotta do that it's like whenever you put somebody in a situation, like you put them in this situation one time and they show you that they don't really care about that. Like you give somebody a pick, like you buy your, like me, if I bought my son some shoes, they were like $200 and something. He didn't give a fuck about them shoes.
Yeah,
But if I would have made him go out there and cut grass and he had to do like 13 yards to get that same amount of money, he might not even want to spend that money on them shoes. So for me, Teofimo Lopez was in a situation and he knew what was riding on that. He knew that the sport of boxing was riding on his performance. And he didn't show up. Like nobody in this world, because I used to be, just like you said, Dave, I used to be a diehard Teofimo Lopez fan. And when it came down to certain people, like if it came down to him and Tank, just like with Shakur and Tank, when it came down to certain people in Tank or certain people in, other guys that I rock with, it's like, okay, in this instance, I got that other guy, but in every other instance, I got this guy. That was T.O. for me. And he did not show me that if you acquiesce to a game plan and you caved in and you quit against a Shakur like that, I can't trust you at no 147 where the dimensions are going to be different, to where you're going to be more frustrated. The only way, and I'll land right here, the only way T.O. can redeem himself is if he go through a Brian Norman, a Rohan Polanco, a Tiger Johnson, and he put on a motherfucking clinic. Like, we be like, damn, God damn, you see T.O., like, shit, it must have been the way. We got to be walking away from a fight like that before I actually have confidence in him. But I'm not believing these guys no more. Why? The shit is scripted, dog. But
yeah, they just real quick, I want to say this. These media guys, bro, they like nobody on this panel or anybody even come on Bodywork platform, bro. But the outside of this platform, I truly believe that they think and they kind of know that a lot of boxing fans is kind of slow, bro. Like, or just, I don't want to say stupid. It's like they just, bro, they just like, they dumb because for Coppin just to try to throw that out there, that's what I'm saying. Him, Bill Haney, with Bill Haney keeping the Octarine thing going, they know people is dumb and they eating that up, bro. Like, nobody never said it was a weight problem, not even Teofimo, but they're gonna say that because they want to push him up to 147 and put him in the gauntlet again with somebody. They're gonna put him in a blender once again because at this point, like he like an equivalent of a hoe right now.
that he is. That he is, man.
And I saw the other day, you know how on YouTube like the free fights will pop up, like on the Top Rank and PBC. They were showing the T.O. versus who was that? T.O. in the Comey fight. And go look at that fight again before they come out. Go look at him in the locker room in that fight. I think that was his first title shot. I think it was the IBF.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was.
Go look at his face. Go look at his father. His father wasn't saying a word. Go look at the pad work. Go look at the walkout. Totally different demeanor. Focus. You could tell he came in there to win that shit. Now I see all this. I see the antics. I see him playing 4 or 5 different songs before he's walking out. Got the Jabberwockies. I don't know what's going on with that dude, man.
This another thing, Dave. This happened in real time too. So after the fight, you got Timothy Bradley, everybody. Oh, Shakur is just, he's a master class. He just control. He took away his best thing he did. This. Bro, you go back to last Saturday or the Saturday before that. they getting on Barrios. Never mind Ryan. Never mind what Ryan did, neutralizing any. Because Barrios, he not the best, but come on now, he got some fight up in him. You feel me? Ryan was taking away all that. They got on Barrios and his trainer. You hear Timothy Bragg like did Goose and style you or something like that. They going in on Barrios' side, but when it came to the Shakur and Tio fight, it's all Shakur. Like Shakur did everything. Tio, it's just like Tio wasn't even there. Like Shakur was fighting himself or just fighting a Goose. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like set up to where though to make him look good. And for Tio to just lay down, wait for the smoke to clear, and then go up to 47.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. Reminds me a lot of Crawford when he had his reign. I mean, there was a lot of them fights. I'm like, yeah, but if I could see, maybe put Danny in there, or maybe you put a Thurman in there, or Ugas in there. You know, somebody with some resistance, you know, it'll be different. So I remember that whole. Hey, look, Buzz a great fighter, but I was just asking to see some resistance. That's it.
Hey man, you remember he didn't go to the PBC?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That whole era right there, man. I'm like, damn, there's so many matchups I would like to see. I'm not saying he would have lost them, but I would like to see. And unfortunately, and I don't want to turn this into a Crawford thing, Bodywork, but just reminds me a little of Shakur. Like you go on this 4 or 5 year run, but who are the names? We talk about Gary, we talk about Shaq Foster, we got Hiroka, you got a Muratala, you got a Abdullah Mason, you got a Devin Haney. I'm just spitballing here. All I've heard out of Shakur's mouth was Conor Ben and Ryan Garcia at a catchweight. Actually, both of them at a catchweight because he asked Conor or was that a rehydration clause? So all the names. So it's just like, yo, like, how good are you, man? You got a guy that just beat probably the best contender at 40. Masterclass, if you ask me, what Gary did, man. You broke it down, Bodywork. He showed all levels of boxing in that fight. Heart, grit, skill. And he gave you the grace after the fight. A respectful champion.
Yeah, man.
How come you ain't tweeting saying, you know what, Gary? I respect that performance. You one hell of a fighter. Let's try and make this happen. Let's unify.
How come your fans are not advocating for that fight? Because even though Tank was my guy, I was advocating for. I said, shit. Gary Antoine said he'd go to 35. This been a minute. I was like, oh shit. Then that means Tank. I was entertaining Sabril and Tank. I was in a man when I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I might have jumped out the window, but like this is how I believe. Because I'm the one, I believe that it's certain people that you don't really know what's gonna happen until they really in a fight. And I also know that some people you just gonna have to take them out. Like, so when Bud was like, oh, Tank said I had a glass shield, tell him come up to 47 to meet me. I said, man, Tank, listen, in this era, they gonna just go, if you lose, they just gonna say you was daring to be great. But if you touch his ass, you got a shot. Like if you do what you, because I think your height is to your advantage. Like I was wondering when people thought I was crazy. Oh man, you trying to get them killed? I was like, man, listen, bro. If you seen what Gamboa did at that stage, and they hyped that up. But I was like, man, Tank in his prime at that time, if he would have jumped up there when Bud said, hey, since I got a glass shield, come up here. If Tank would have went up there, I wouldn't have changed my pick. Because I believe that Tank is the type to where it's like, he's a dog, bro. Like, you got to put a dog out. Like, a dog is going to be a dog until you put him out, bro. Like, so until I see him really get put out, I'm going to believe in it because I know he got it in. When he's focused and he got that killer, it's like, until I see it, I can't unsee it. But We've been sold, y'all. This is the crux of my show today. And I want everybody to think about it. Don't become a conspiracy theorist, right? But what you have to do is connect the same dots that I'm connecting. Open your mind, look at your eyes, and then ask you, what is the sport telling you? Because Shakur has made it to a point to where he don't have to do anything. Like, think about it, and by default, Keyshawn don't have to do anything. As long as they put their name in a certain hat, this is the Devin Haney plan all over again. I call it the linguine method. They throw a whole bunch of names up on the refrigerator, and just like pasta, they see which one stick, because that's when it's ready. Whatever name, they'll say 1,000, and I've seen Devin Haney do this fight after fight after fight after fight. All they did was pick up the same thing. Think about it. They've been calling out Tank. I'm like, well, he's handling his personal business. Like, why does anybody even have permission to be able to yell out or scream out Tank right now? Like, that should be off limits. Like, if you're doing interviews, if you really want to get pertinent information and something that the fans can go by, leave Tank out of it right now, because we don't know his plans. Leave him out. But you're wasting a slot when you allow them to be able to do what Keyshawn been doing for the past 2 weeks, even after his fight. I'm like, how is he talking about going to 47 but fighting Tank? How is he talking about going to 47 but fighting Roach? Like, there is no accountability, and these guys have already made it. Shakur and Keyshawn. Shakur made it because he got the network, the friends and family. Keyshawn, he's the first in the network. He's the husband. He has the network, like he has everything on lock. He got the passwords and all that. So he get the same favorite and favoritism and coverage that Andre Ward's going to give Shakur. They're going to give it to him. Tim Bradley going to give it to him. They have no expectations. Why? Because they actually feel like they've done it all, and they have not cleared out a single division, dog.
Bro, this man. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
And the last thing I'm gonna say is there is this pattern to where, mainly with Shakur and Keyshawn, they're doing the same thing that Devin Haney did, to where they might get credit for being the best in the division, but they never fought the best in the division. And this goes back to Bud. Bud was in the same division as Regis Prograis and Adrian Broner. And this is when Adrian Broner was looking like the second coming of Floyd Mayweather. This was also the time when Regis Prograis went in there right after Bud fought somebody and stopped him.
Ndongo
stopped him in more devastating fashion. But that fight was never. And so you got to think about it. Shakur said to share the same division as as Mr. Gary Russell for a long time. He said he shared the same division as Regis Prograis and Adrian Broner. Think about Regis Prograis. Regis Prograis is very close in age to Crawford. Adrian Broner, same thing. They never fought. Why? Y'all was in the same division. Whose option was that? This is the same shit that Shakur is doing. So he could be in the same division as Mr. Gary Russell, move up, be in the same division as O'Shaquie Foster, move up, and now he get the benefit of the doubt saying, oh no, this guy's being too disrespectful. It's like, no, we got history. You knew I was the man in the division, but you never fight me. And people keep letting them eke by, and because he jumped up and grabbed this guy who signed up for the program at Teofimo Lopez. Now he's number 3. He's top 3 pound for pound. I don't agree.
I was just ready to say, this man Keyshawn actually said out of his mouth, he feel like he's filling the void of Tank. Like, bro, you did not do anything, Keyshawn. Like, come on, bro. Like, and the two bozos on the interview, they just like, first of all, the dude, the light skin one, whatever he is, he always brings up Tank when Tank, especially like recently, like he always brings up Tank and wants somebody to say something bad about him. You know, everybody got something weird against that man. I don't know what be wrong, but they always expect somebody to say something bad about them, and then they be looking dumb when they don't. Like, like, bro, Keyshawn hasn't done anything to even fill a void of Crawford or Earl or anybody that was Anthony Joshua. Like, come on, bro. There's no pushback at all with these type of things right here, man.
And salute to everybody on the panel. Salute Bodywork.
Salute, AC.
What's up, AC?
Yeah, it's been a crazy day. I'm just taking a couple of minutes to hop up here. I've been listening to the show since about 9:30, maybe a quarter to 10 and stuff like that. But basically, this is where I'm at. I think I figured it out. If we're asking the questions, how did we get here? And for me, it's something you have to watch because the breadcrumbs are there. And this is not a conspiracy theory, just like Body just alluded to. This is just looking at what was actually said and what was actually done. Joe, go back. Shakur versus Padley. We know that was a short-term type thing. Shakur gets the stoppage. The talking point is Shakur is back. He's back to his knockout ways. Shakur is back. Then he goes out and with the appearance taking on Zepeda. Right? Now, this is a fight Shakur was talking about. He was chasing for years and stuff like that. Body criticized him for saying that you've been chasing, you're mandatory. Who the fuck does that?
For 3 years.
You know what I'm saying? For 3 years. Now, you look at the performance that he put against Zepeda and then look at the talking points of the Zepeda fight. Masterclass. He stood there. He didn't run. He banged with him. Shakur said, you'll never get another performance like that. Had all the Shakurians up in a roar. Like they just saw this man turn iron to gold and shit like that. So now, this is crucial. The talking point for Teofimo Lopez was, what's Teo's going to show up? Pivot to when Shakur was asked a question. Said it doesn't matter. He's just in my way. No matter what Teo shows up, I'm ready for him. Right? Then here's the important question. Everybody, I think it's asked in a way that it disguises it, but it tells you exactly what's going on. Will you beat him easier than Zepeda? Oh, everybody was running around. Yo, if he dominate him better than Zepeda, he topped this, he that, he this and that, and all of this other stuff. What happens? You're talking about it. He was compromised because he needed the image of him beating Teofimo Lopez better than he beat Zepeda. So this was supposed to be the new wrinkle. This was supposed to be the step up in competition, the first time he's faced anybody like that, and he beat him easier than he beat Zepeda. Does it not all make sense now? Why he's number 3? Why he's this? Why he's that? Why are they talking? Why is Keyshawn getting all of these benefits of the doubt? Because it all came down to, will you beat him better than Zepeda? And if you beat him better than Zepeda, can't nobody tell nobody nothing. Shakur is X, Y, and Z, period. So that was the play. That was the goal. That's something I was caught up in all freaking day, to the point I didn't even look in my emails and stuff like that, because I was just looking at videos trying to figure out. And then I'm looking at one of the talking points in the lead up. And then I went back and I said, oh shit, where have I heard that before? Go back, Mr. Versace. Oh shit, go back, Cigar Talk. Oh shit, go back. Every video, it was always asked, will you beat this man better than Zepeda? Talking points of the ring people, talking points of Tim Bradley, talking points of Andre Ward and Roy Jones. If he beats him easier than Zepeda. There you go, bro. They told us what was going on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They've been put it out. They put the breadcrumbs out. It's just like when you see a producer and you know that, oh, okay, such and such, like a J.J. Abrams film, or what's the dude that did Kill Bill? Tarantino. Like, you know their work. So like when I start seeing, like, now I'm at the point in time where I done seen these tricks, I done seen these plays, I've seen performances. It's just like when we connected the dots about all of they weren't dives, but it was in the dive category, like where something was wrong with a fighter going out. Because we looked at Wilder, we looked at Spence, we looked at a couple different people who didn't look right coming out, and then we got, so I've been looking at all these things, and I'm like, to everybody who say, oh man, he's just a hater, let me remind y'all something. This was one of my old thumbnails. This is how hard I used to go at. This said Shakur haters right now. Y'all remember on the 5 Heartbeats when all he did was hit that high note and Shorty was gone? She was gone. It was an ocean. You know what I'm saying? It was ocean.
Let me hear you say, yeah! That bitch was like, oh God, there it goes. Yeah, baby. For real.
Yeah. So for me, it's like, man, I used to go hard and salute Honeybee. I used to go hard for Shakur. So it's not that I'm doing that. It's just that now I'm looking and I'm looking at everything and I'm saying, hold on. Like when Regis popped out, that was like that last piece to the puzzle. Now the puzzle, it ain't always formed up. You can't put the puzzle glue on it. You try to put it up in the frame, it's gonna be a whole big chunk in the corner. But that one piece that you got, like that, when Regis was announced as the op to Conor Ben, I sat back and I said, hold on, man. Regis? I'm like, okay, now, he's one of my guys. But y'all know how I go. I stay off the beaten path. Like, I got my top guy, I got my top guys. But when they're not doing anything, I don't do anything on them. But I have my boxers that I actually rock with and the boxers that I think that they don't get the coverage. Regis happened to fall in that. But it was odd that he got announced, and for Conor Ben at this point in time with all of the options now, it's a Jaleel Hackett. I'm talking about it's a Boots. It's so many people that's up in and around his weight class that he could have been matched with. Hell, Josh Kelly said, listen, Conor Ben was the first option. Boots was not even an option. It was Conor Ben and then Xander, and then, excellent fighter when it comes to Boots, but he brings nothing to the table, even though prior to them unstrapping Murtazaliev, they had a signed contract to fight Boots dependent upon if they win. So I'm like, when Regis came out, I said, hold on, listen. And then I got to thinking, I said, hold on, man. I ain't really want to dig off in Regis' ass after that Devin loss. But I didn't want to actually come off as a Devin hater because, listen, I'll give you slack. And I'm a tough customer. You got to win me over. Even with these young guys, I'm like, I got to see him against this. I got to see him. Before I really start darning the flag and start really actively putting out content 2-3 times a month, once a week or on a regular basis, like you got to get up there to where you're moving the way you're moving. I've seen you face adversity. It's like you got to go through the ringer a little bit. It's not easy to win me over. So when I seen Regis pop out of there, and I'm like, Conor Ben at this stage and all of the opponents that he could get, why Regis? And I thought back, and it was like lightning bolts hit me. All of the dots connected. And I said, hold on, bro. This dude is part of the script. And I had been saying it. I respected him because when he signed that one-way rehydration clause and he got dropped by Devin and he didn't sell out, he didn't do nothing. It was the same thing we saw with Teo versus Shakur. To where he didn't sell out, he didn't make no adjustments, he didn't do nothing to be like, all right, well, I'm about to take my belt off, and no, it's like, no, I'm gonna do this and do that, and I just not gonna do nothing to break that or breach that barrier. That's so un-Teo like. But when Regis popped on the scene, I said, oh yeah. Remember the time when I told you owed me one? So when he went along with the plan and they got their business and they did their whole, virtual reality or reality TV show or whatever the fuck they got going on, whatever business going on, he was already part of the plan. It was part of the script to say, oh, well, you done paid for this, and you done did that, and to talk spicy and to do this. If whatever to move up, it would be a bigger implication. Why? Because if you add to the pelt on his wall, just like everybody else, you make his legend great. But guess what? You get 3 or 4 or 5 more paydays. Just the same. He went over the script. I'm a buck, but I ain't gonna stand place. Wow. He come right back, but I'm saying this body 47. How straight? No, you should have to go to the. And you should find a good fall the runner and the Polanco. Hey, no, you should not be able to. You showed us that you would be okay. That you got pride. You got this. You got that. You ain't know that. You're part of the script. So this is what this. I know this is an episode, but I gotta put this statement, guys. Listen, man, boxing has been compromised. Now, you gotta look at all these guys. Listen to what they say. Watch how they move. Look how they use the Linguini method. Devin been doing it for years. Keyshawn been doing it for years. Shakur started doing it, and it was a little bit of credibility. Boots, they be doing it. All these names. Think about it. And I'll land right here. Boots and them said Bakram. They said Jamel. They said Virgil. They said blah, blah, blah. Well, Bakram had plans because he had a belt and never wound up being Josh Kelly. Virgil, like you ran down on Virgil and that got all locked up. Jamel responded and it's crickets. These niggas just be barking. Like, who the fuck is biting? And I'm not going to be sitting up here acting like I don't see it. I'm not. No, because the only thing that keeps me relevant is the truth. You're doing good. You're doing well. You're doing an honorable thing. You're trying to get it. You're getting the bag. Slate, we're going to come out and say, nah, yeah, I got to look at it like this, man. Listen, this is what's really going on, blah, blah, blah. And we give you something to think about. You ain't got to believe it, but you got to put some credence and actually lend an effort to try to understand where we're coming from, because we're not going to cap and cape for none of them. That's what keeps us honest. All we got to do is look at what actually happened and then come on and be responsible about how we talk about it. That's all we owe everybody. And that's all we're doing. This shit is scripted, y'all. Y'all got to watch all the major players. You got to watch, just like with wrestling, you got to look at what Stone Cold is doing. You got to look what Hulk Hogan is doing. You gotta look at what the Ultimate Warrior is doing, and you gotta look at it and say, all right, okay, how is all this going to end? Or why would he say this? Or why would he go out here and act like this and not look right like this? Because it's all part of a script. And that's where I'm gonna land.
And for me,
go ahead, AC.
And for me, every time I look at it, like today, it was just something that drew me in. I was like, I got to get to the bottom of this shit, man, because it's fucking with me. It's fucking with my ability to watch a video and then speak on it. To speak on something Body spoke about much earlier. Jahai Tucker. That situation. Yeah. Watching him kind of fuck me up because I'm like, okay, what script are you willing to get on? Is it something looking towards the future at a yo-yo fight? Are you going to try to tell us that if you rise to the top and become champion, if that belt is challenged by Yo-Yo Hernandez, what are you going to do? But the way you was talking, you had me kind of like on some different vibes with you. Like, I don't know if your heart is in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get out and get at you about your closeness to it, to whatever. But for me, that sounded like somebody trying to clout off of Shushu. I don't know what parts of East New York you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Where it's 10 minutes from Jamaica Avenue. I don't know that part, but at the end of the day, bro, run your own race. Be from where you from. Rep where you from. If it's Queens, then it's Queens. Nobody gonna get mad at you. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit really, at the end of the day, doesn't matter until you make it matter. And right now, it doesn't matter until you make it matter. So that don't get into shit like that. Just go out there, perform. Don't get caught up with the French stuff. And you gave all of these weird scenarios like, what if I hit him and he loses his eye, and could I ever be somebody's friend watching the replay of them, knocking me out, and how social media is gonna look at if my friend knocked me out or I knocked my friend out. No, it's just gonna get weird and yada yada yada. And it's like, if you're gonna tell everybody it's a blood sport, then that tells you you have no friends. There is no tag teaming in blood sport.
Yeah.
You.
That's what got me, the tag team. He's like, man, shit, this could be tag team boxing. I'm like, no, brother, no, because everybody's accepting. But I said, listen, man, like, look, it would not have been a big deal. Y'all could have said, man, Body, you just be overreacting. You just blah, blah, blah. No, but I foresee it. I've asked for vision since I was in high school. I'm 45 years old. I'm honed in. I'm locked in. I'm focused. Like I see shit before it actually happens, man. And I call it out. I have videos calling it out, like the De Los Santos versus Shakur a year before it happened. Calling it out. It's on wax. And I said, listen, man, it's not that they just got a bond that can't be broken. I understand. Okay, this special relationship. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna, if it's a one-off, every now and again, you know what I'm saying, some crazy shit happen. It might be a tortoise, they lived like 125. It might be a tortoise that lived to 180. It happens, but it's not the norm. So what Shakur and Keyshawn is doing, that's not the norm. So now people always like, they shied away from it, not knowing or not playing chess with it and saying, okay, cool. You're agreeing with it now, but we do this in relationship. If a bride get out and the dude don't hold the door, he let the door slam in her face, she gonna be like, hold on now. I mean, this is the beginning. But if a dude opening up the doors, letting her go first, doing this. If when she cooks, she giving you the plate before the kids and all that, you consider all of that. Like, so some of them things in the beginning, you be like, I don't know. I can't rock with it. But like when they was at 135 and they was acting like that, we was all like, I said something about it because I'm vocal. I said, nah, because I already seen, I forecasted where this was going to go. Because I already knew that most of these guys are not fighting at their weight class. Remember, I've been telling y'all that Shakur been saying for 2 years now, a solid over 2 years now, that he was bigger than Teofimo Lopez. He just fought Teofimo Lopez. He just did. But he was telling us before, and simultaneously, he was also telling you that he was a 135er. So 2 things can be true and 2 things cannot be true at the same damn time. And I was foreshadowing and saying, hold on, that's not your real weight class. So y'all gonna have to go to 140. And then I remember the pact between Shakur and Devin. They had always agreed that they were going to go down a yellow brick road fighting 1 weight class apart. That's why when he jumped in the ring after the Loma fight and then Devin went out and then they said, well, if it ever get hot, we going to 140. Shakur had recorded that and then they actually went to 140 when, what's his name? Church had said that. Bill said there will never be another champion at this division for the rest of the year, which wound up being a lie. Nobody came back and said, "Oh no, Bill, you lied to us, bro." Nope. He went up, and because he chose a guy like Regis with the reputation he had at that time, all sins were forgiven. And then you seen the performance. All sins were definitely forgiven. But then when we heard about the one-way rehydration clause, we were like, they didn't want to hear it. That's the history. These are the things that this channel points out and how we go about it. So, like, when I look at how people are moving, and now you got to understand, and I'll land right here. You got to understand that it was a given that Shakur was 135. Nobody was really like getting all squeamish and wanting to move or whatever until after we saw the outcome of the Cold War, which is Shakur and Tank. Like, nobody was really getting squirmish. Nobody was really like, okay, until we see that, then we'll know what's what. Because Devin had already moved up, and it's already like, man, this dude clearly is not a 135er. He shouldn't even have been down there. So now, Shakur moves up. He does what he's supposed to do, and he beats Tio. But then all that, I'm going to drop the belt. He don't do that. I'm going to go back down to 35. He don't do that. Keyshawn, who said, when Shakur said, I'm going to get that belt, toss it to my man, I said, boxing don't work like that. I don't know. Y'all can believe that shit if you want to, but boxing don't work like that. Keyshawn came right out and said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stop Jermaine Ortiz and I'm going to 147. Let's fast forward. Let's fast forward all the way to February 27th, which is today. They're both at 140 with no plan to fight each other. One being the champion, one at the WBO, and then one being the number one at the WBO. And now you got Keyshawn engaging in talks with Lamont Roach, who's also at 140, 135. You can call him betweener, like Gustavo Limos. And Shakur ain't budging. Why? Because he has no intention of going back down to 35. Why? He got to go see Oshaki. Or Morataya. Or Tank Davis. He started talking about somebody at 144. And nobody is saying anything, bro. This is all a script. And we're going to keep hitting you in the head. I got to keep laying down these tracks no matter how absurd, no matter how few the viewership is. This is going to be somebody on wax laying this shit down, making it simple and plain, keeping it simple, stupids for everybody. And that's what's going on.
Bro, that's at the end of the day, that's how boxing fans, I think, should run. When there's things that don't feel right, take a second. If you got the time to, look it up, it may be in an article, it may be in a video. Something may say, you know what? Yeah, I did hear something like that, and that kind of came across my timeline. If you're following this channel, then that's a given. If you're new to this channel, then that's pretty much the way this channel operates. We do have our moments of knee-jerk reactions, but then we'll say, you know what? Let's give it time. Let's see what happens over the next couple of days to 30 days or even the year. So we understand that there is a time and place for everything. And when you're looking at a fighter and then you're seeing a pattern in this era of boxing that makes you say, okay, I've been kind of following this thread. And at first it felt like it might have been, am I tripping? Is this a conspiracy theory that I'm kind of fucking with here? But let me just, see what happens, because time is actually the great equalizer. You let enough time go by, everything will be revealed to you. You know what I'm saying? And like, it just lays out to the fact that if you're looking at something and you have a solid theory, then hindsight is actually 2020, because you saw it, you waited, and then you had actual real life experience or real time confirmation. And then that's not a bias. That's just you saw the pattern, you followed the thread, and then it revealed what it is. If a person shows you who they are, believe them. And that's what these situations kind of show you, and it makes you question yourself sometimes, because you're like, nah, this shit can't be happening. Not like this. Nah, And then you may even doubt your what you're seeing. And then you're saying, no. You keep wanting to doubt yourself, so that propels you to keep looking. And as you keep looking, it's no longer a confirmation bias, because you're looking because you want to be proven wrong, not because you want to be proven right. And that's the biggest difference sometimes when you're researching certain things and you come across a word to use for today, epiphany. Yeah, this shit was what it is, and I was like, God damn. So let me now prove myself wrong. And you can't find nothing to prove you wrong, so then that means, as ridiculous as that shit may seem to you initially, as conspiracy theory it may seem to you initially, it's not a conspiracy, it's actually a real thing. So that's kind of the crazy thing, like when you're trying to produce information, when you're looking to put the stakes in the ground, because everybody else will say, this motherfucker's crazy. Where the fuck did you pull that from? Like, that shit makes no sense. You tripping, you overreacted. Like, the fuck is this guy talking about? But then when it all comes down, then you're the vindicated villain. I go on plenty of channels, and I stopped going on plenty of channels because everything that I said back then is being proven now. Yeah, so I'm the vindicated villain. I don't need to go on your channel and tell you I fucking told you so. I just look at the fact that you will not talk about the thing that I know. So that lets me know, yeah, you feel at this point I can't even talk about this shit, because if this dude pops up and that thumbnail is seen, and blah blah blah, he may pop up and, you know, snatch my ball and not kick the shit over the fence. Tell me, you know, if you want, listen, I'll get this shit back to you next week. You know what I'm saying? On some real Devo type shit. Like, nah, I ain't gonna have you kick it over and go get. No, I'm just keeping this shit for a matter of hours and days. See how you like living without this shit. So, for me, things are crucial. When you have these moments, you understand these moments, the confirmation bias may be in the fact that, okay, I go to a channel because I was kind of feeling the same way, and I thought I was standing alone, but yeah, there's a channel that actually confirms the shit that I fuck with. So then my bias is, the way I think is the way these guys are. I can go over to other channels and listen to you, but the shit you say is always wrong, and you never, you know, make the adjustments or the acknowledgments to say, yeah, I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the biggest difference. Like I said before, the time I did my own show, I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. So that's where I leave it right there. And you know what I'm saying? Teo, woo, yeah, bro. It's not looking good for you right now. I don't know how you try to come back. I don't know what it is, because just like the word of the day before was credibility, you've lost your credibility. You've lost your credibility with me. I can't see myself, you know, talking for you or saying, yeah, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Because the one time you said was more important. You said you can't do whatever. When the dude asked you in front of Shakur, does he beat you as easily or easier than he did Zepeda? You had to look and you said, don't try me. You said, don't try me. So what happened to all of that? Like Jay-Z said, those ain't Rolex diamonds. What the fuck happened to that? So just on that alone, I can't trust you anymore. So however your story ends, it ends the way it ends with, you may still have fans, but your fans don't trust you, which makes us acquaintances or passerbys at times. We may show up just to see your performance. Other than that, it's like, I don't know.
Well, I haven't. I'm not gonna say I've written. I'm not gonna say I've written Teofimo Lopez off. I'm just gonna say that I don't trust him. Meaning that there's still a window where he can redeem himself. Like if he get back in there with a Brian Norman, he get back in there with a Tyler Johnson, he get back in there with a Rohan Polanco. But me going all in and me doing content about how I feel, if it was announced that he gonna go up and fight Rolly or Ryan or Devin at 147, I ain't with it. Maybe with a Dalton. I mean, yeah, but no, with a Crocker, maybe. But I don't believe it. Why? Because for one, we seen you back too soon. You seem too happy-go-lucky. You seem like one of them people that was like, oh, I got that over with. So now, okay, all right, what's next? It's like, yeah, I fell face flat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I had a sticky throttle and I let the bike get away from me. And now y'all put me back on the bike and the bike is okay. And I'm back on and now I can ride. This is like, no, bro. Yeah. You sold us on some shit. You sold us a bill of goods that you was going to do a certain thing. And the people who, when they should not have, because of the things you said against them and their heritage, they shouldn't have believed you, but they gave you the benefit of the doubt. And with that benefit of the doubt, you created trust issues. It's like you get cheated on, you like, all right, well, shit, you all right, you going out? All right, well, shit, where you going? All right, what time you getting back? Okay, cool. So midnight, you expecting somebody to be back, and then next thing you know, it's 4:30 in the morning. And they nowhere to be seen. That's where I'm at with Tio. Like it's 4:30, and you ain't where were you at? Like when you ain't show up, the fight was. We seen somebody in there looking like you, but you didn't show up. So until you show up and you beat shit down one of these other people's leg, or you go through like what Gary Antoine did with his mandatory, because this is where I don't have no mercy on Tio. Tio could have unified with Richardson Hitchens, where Richardson Hitchens probably would have made the weight and went through with it because it would have been no secondary rehydration and he wouldn't have been worried about all that. So he probably would have fought, and that's the fight that he actually wanted. You could have did that. You could have went with Gary Antoine. You could have went with who's the last one? Well, Subreal was tied up. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Subreal was tied up. You could have been on one of them other guys. You could have easily went by Richardson Hitchens and had he out box you. Yeah, it'd have been a little bit embarrassing, but then he still would have had, like, you'd have been able to get by with like, well, yeah, man, people been trying to tell people about Richardson Hitchens. He one of the most purest boxers. He's an elite boxer. He just ain't have his opportunity, and he snuck up on everybody. Almost like how Puello did, the way people recognize, like hardcore recognize Puello, but he don't get the fullest credit for actually beating Gary Antoine because it was a close fight. You probably would have got that with Richardson Hitchens had you did that, but you didn't want to do that. You wanted to do some Canelo shit to where he allowed Bud to come up, and because he thought shit was sweet, blah blah blah. So either I don't believe that you thought shit was sweet. I believe that you followed the script, and you were told the Caleb Plant, whatever they told Caleb Plant in that Canelo, you were told something similar. That's my belief. You know what I'm saying? That's not AC's belief. That's my personal belief. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm going with. And I'm not ready to see you go up against nobody with a name in 147. You need to go and fight a killer and all that, like being right back in contention for the ring and all that. Like, no, just because y'all said, just because Mike Cap didn't check you on that bullshit, just because Tim Bradley ain't come out and do a stop the press, just because Andre Ward ain't do a special segment with, you know, extra smoke. No. We don't believe you. We need more people. And I'm disappointed in you, T.O. I'm disappointed in Regis because I clearly see that they're reading it. They're going by scripts. And I challenge everybody out here that's listening that might come across this on the playback or might be listening right now. Start looking circumspectly at how these guys are moving and how certain stuff just starting to seem kind of weird. Like these moves, the way they're talking versus how they're performing, like versus how everything that they tell you before the fight, after the fight, they get to pivot and go different ways. Look at all these moving parts. So don't get so gassed and don't believe them, you know, all the way until they actually follow through and do exactly what it is that's necessary for the sport to sustain itself, not for your own fandom, not just because you like this guy and you might be able to win a bet, but no, for the longevity of the sport. And that's what keeps me grounded in this sport. This is how I believe I can see all the BS in this sport. And I'll land with that, man. I wanted to say, man, listen, man, I believe T.O. is compromised. I believe Regis is compromised. And they're not the only ones, but when you look at what Jahaz said and how he said, yeah, I mean, this could be a tag team. And yeah, I see why, because it's dangerous. It can get brutal because when you get in the ring, I got to feed my family. I'm like, that's one angle. But there shouldn't be no such thing as tag team sport. If y'all in the same division and y'all just that tight or whatever, somebody got to make a choice. Y'all got to make a decision for your career because, like, just like with Shakur saying, oh, well, I didn't need to pay the fee and, you know, this belt is free or whatever. That's synonymous like saying, all right, look, I'm going to be the manager, but I don't want the title. I just want the pay, and I don't want to have to do anything that the title demands. I just want the check that the title commands. That don't make no sense. Like a lot of the shit that we be believing in this boxing world and this hemisphere, and because this is a hobby or this is something to keep us, you know, like this is our hobbies or the thing that entertain us. We don't apply real life situations to how this boxing shit work. If we did, your blood pressure would be lower. You will hold these guys accountability and not feel any guilt, and you will be more reasonable. That's all I had, man. I'm not gonna cook T.O., but I you know, you got a lot to prove for me, T.O. You can't win me over. I don't trust Shakur. I'm off of that. Clout Sean, he's showing day by day. The fact that he's calling out Lamont Roach, I thought she was going to 47. I don't even need to argue that with you or no other peon or no other knee pad wearer, throat coat sprayer, tossy jewelry displayer, extended, you know, reach around extenders displaying. I don't got to argue with none of y'all. I'm just watching what's going on with boxing. I'm like, man, y'all fucking up my sport. I'm going to cater to the guys that's doing what they need to do, like Shoo, you know what I'm saying, like Bam, like Abdullah, like Brian Norman, even through a loss, even through getting knocked down, even through whatever, as long as Oshaki, as long as they're showing me that they're moving the way they need to move, you're going to have my support. But I'm getting off of these other guys, man. That's all I got, AC, man. How you want to bring it out, man?
I just want to say this. I'm saying I don't trust him. And my distrust for him lies in the space of, even if you get the big fight, are you going to perform the way you need to perform to win the big fight and put yourself back in that position? That's the part of me where I'm going to have issues. It's going to be your heart to get it back, being that it was pretty much paid for, I believe, in this situation. Would I want to see you come back? Yes. Could I see a path of you coming back? Possibly, yes. You know what I'm saying? But the issue for me is the path for you to come back. Will you make those fights, and will you show up to win every one of those fights? I don't like the way you went out, because that moment that I seen your face, that time that Shakur bumped you, it made me feel a certain way when I watched it live, and then it made me feel like, okay, this thing that I'm feeling, that was the moment, or that could have been the moment. So I just would like to see you come back. For you and Regis becoming pawns to build other stars, I don't know how that applies for your comeback. Regis, I pretty much am just going to say, you know what time it is. You still got bills, you still got whatever. You may have assumed a certain lifestyle, that this type of fight will allow you to resume that lifestyle and then make other investments. If that's the case, then, you know, it is what it is. So do what you need to do. If you're going to become a gatekeeper for this division, be a smart gatekeeper. You know, and that's where I landed, because I really don't have too much for this fight, because I'm just not impressed with it. So that's where I'll just leave it. And I don't want to shit on Regis, but, you know, Conor Ben is just somebody that I'm just like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Y'all not going to convince me of whatever it is you're trying to convince me if he's going to turn around and fight Regis. So it is what it is for me.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna catch up, man. I know we got, you know, there wasn't none of my guys, so I wasn't gonna be fake and microwave it like everybody else do this week. But we do have a pretty pivotal fight with Navarrete and Nunez, and there's a couple guys on the undercard. But I'm looking more of it like, because it was another interview with Oshaki. He doubled down, was real respectful, real personable. And I think he's waiting for some things. I seen where Ray Ford is saying he's in pre-camp. So I don't know, you know, because I know that Nunez and Navarrete, the winner of that, it might not be a foregone conclusion that they're going to get Oshaki next, because it's another guy in the mix that I think they got to fight before that. So, I mean, I'm like, man, could we be getting a surprise in Ray Ford against Oshaki Foster? Which I'm like, sign me up, take my money. You know, who's on the undercard? Let's get it. You know, because I'm ready for Oshaki to get rewarded and not be blackballed, because it takes a lot of heart to actually speak out against the system.
But
you know,
I was just gonna say, in one of the interviews, I thought if all of that other stuff doesn't happen, then I believe he said Jazza Dickinson is somebody he's looking at. That more than likely might be his next fight, based on the landscape and based on what he's hearing from talking to the other fighters, Peoples and stuff like that.
Well, I don't blame him, because that's another belt. So when we look at the landscape, that's definitely another a belt, and you know, for what he's trying to accomplish, because he got the WBA. So hey, that'll be the next best thing, you know. So But I don't know. I know he said he sent out offers and he said, we'll see. I don't want to get so I don't want to interpret what Oshaki said, but I'm thinking, man, the way I interpreted it was like he sent all them niggas an offer. Like he sent something over here, and if that don't work, he sent over something over there. Like he got a plan B, C, and so something got to shake. And he's not doing a linguini method. He's being very specific. He made Mike Cap eat crow. And basically say, oh no, I didn't mean this and that, you know what I'm saying? But we gotta reward and salute them guys, even though I don't like what Jahai was saying as far as that tag team shit, because it's funny. And this is what boxers gotta be reminded of. There may be a time to where you might be able to get something and somebody might say you being too disrespectful. Now you've done everything you needed to do to actually get that fight. You've done everything that David Morrell did, pursuing the David Benavidez. You've done everything that O'Shaquie Foster did, pursuing a Shakur Stevenson. And you're going to have these bots jump out in front and say, oh no, what did you do? And how did you do? And blah, blah, blah. So it's all good until you find yourself in that same situation where people are using those tactics against you. So when somebody say, oh, no, we cool, man, we sparred, I would never fight Jahai, but that's what, so keep that in mind, boxers. I didn't like to hear that tag team from Jahai, but I'm still pulling for him, and I still like the video. I just didn't like that part about the tag team and everybody wanting to play politics, not to rub Shakur and this love affair or this family and friends plan that they got just to not offend people, man, because trust me, it fucked up 35. It's currently fucking up 40. It's going to fuck up 47, 54. And as long as we allow them to be Batman and Robin, it's going to fuck up a whole lot of other plans. Why? Because depending on who they're friends with and who's in the friends and family network, you already got to cast them out. Like, think about it. We're never going to see Keyshawn and Tiger Johnson. They're going to cancel out. Where does this stuff stop? And when do real boxing, start? That's just food for thought, man. That's all I really had, man.
Yeah, great show, man. On to the next one. And, I tapped in later on in the show, but, I jumped on the panel, but I was tapped in early on the show, and it was a great cook, man. You know what I'm saying? So, on to the next one, bro.
Appreciate you, AC. Enjoy your evening, man. We'll touch bases tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, bro. Yeah, another good one in the books, man. Listen, I just wanted to connect the dots, man. I'm not one of them guys that's gonna be politically correct. I'm not one of them guys that's gonna acquiesce and get down with this wolf pack mentality. I'm an individual with critical thinking skills. I don't base my logic on rote memorization and regurgitation. I've reminded that we have critical thinking skills. And that's one of the things that they tried to rob from us. Like everywhere you go, we can go to Google and get the answer right away. Most of the people, you go to the register and they get ready to give you back change and you anticipate it and you give them 6 cents so you can get back a whole dime or a whole quarter. They'll be sitting around looking like, because their brain is stuck. They so used to the computer, the register telling them. Let's not forget our critical thinking skills and let's keep our eyes on the prize, because I was joking when I first started YouTube. My first video was backlash for how Canelo Alvarez treated Caleb Plant. That was like one of my first videos when I said, you know what, I'm actually going to start doing content. I'm not just going to be on these other channels commenting in the comment section. I'm actually going to do content. Why? Because something needs to be said. And right away, I started off with silence is consent, meaning that all it takes for evil to prevail, sin, all that good stuff, bad stuff, collusion, coercion, anything you want to put, all it takes is for people not to say nothing. We don't say anything. So we got to say something, man. We got to speak to it. And if If I got one person to connect these dots, if I got one person to say, you know what, man, my guy is kind of moving funny. Yeah, he got some skills, but he is moving funny. Yeah, he is hypocrite. Yeah, he did lie to us. If it's just one of y'all, I can just prick the baby and say, you know what, I'm gonna look at this. I'm gonna hold the light up to this. I'm gonna look at this a little bit further. I've done my job. I'm not here to be the most popular. It's ways. I can get up early in the morning. I can have everything organized, have all the audio visuals. I don't have the time to get up early in the morning. I'm still working my business. And when I do, some people gonna be in trouble. I ain't gonna lie. But I don't have the time. But what the time that I do have is to give you all what comes across my mind. Something that I think that you might be able to put in your rucksack and march on with and have responsible boxing conversations that are relevant to the vitality of the sport. Fruits and veggies, not that Reggie, that fact-based content, not opinion-based, even though we have ours. Support the channel, man. Dev Wall, man, he made an excellent contribution. That means a lot, man. But we always set little goals, 5 super chats, man. Support the channel. If you've gotten something from it, if you've been entertained, if you've been educated, you know, if you've been reminded, if, you know, you got on your journey, support the channel. Anyways, man, I think that I've connected some dots. I think that when you look at some of the major plays and some of the things that's going on, and you know, he who controls the printed page controls the thinking of this age. The more you keep that in mind and you listen to what's going through, what's coming through your speakers, what your eyeballs are beholding. If you're looking at it comprehensively, and while I'm being inundated with this same verbiage, it sounds like it's the same catchphrase because you're being programmed. Be that salmon swimming upstream. Challenge the norms. All it's going to do is make you stronger, build you with more armor. And that's all we seek to do. This is the 300. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.